It pisses me off. Like, okay, I spent several years being patriotic. Fuck the haters, and that's how it is, YouTube. Nah, stupid fucking lighter. Fuck you. Stupid fucking lighter. Hey lighter, fuck you. Oh, you don't like being beat up. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't fucking like it. Then maybe you shouldn't fucking go against the grain, stupid fuck. I'll beat you up, you piece of shit. God damn it! I broke my fucking cigarette. Fuck! Fucking social media doesn't give a shit. Fuck you! Fuck you fucking touching me, you piece of fucking shit, you! And fuck this! And of course my drink has to spill. I lose my fucking temper over these stupid fucking assholes. And no one's gonna feel sorry for me, because it's just like you did it to yourself, dude. You had a fucking drink combo, and you had to lose your fucking autistic temper. Spill it for yourself. Fucking bullshit. Get the fuck out of my way, stupid fucking hat. Stupid fucking piece of shit fucking hat. Fuck you, oh it's here. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You fucking piece of goddamn shit. Fuck you, you stupid fucking bottle. Stay on the fucking desk, stay on the fucking desk, you piece of shit. Fuck you, I told you. How many times did I fucking tell you to stay on the fucking desk? Fucking stay on the desk, I told you 1,000 times. Fuck you, fuck you, you stupid fuck. You wanna fall off the desk to be cute, and no one asked you to be cute, you piece of shit. Fuck you. I don't care if I got a nasty fucking temper. Fuck you. Stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you. Don't care if anyone cited me, I'm fucking miserable. I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do. Temper, fuck you. Stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you. Don't care if anyone cited me, I'm fucking miserable. I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do.
Sound TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to this, a very special Sunday edition of me streaming. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. How's it going? I'm glad you're all here. Please like the stream. The new Thang thing, that was just me. That was just me referencing this video.
Boys and girls, the Lord Jesus Christ is the one who gives us new life, and he's doing a new thing for us.
Get he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing.
Yeah, please give the stream a big fat like.
God is doing a new thing.
Wow, it sure is a special Sunday here on DP.
Hell yeah.
God is doing a brand new thing. Well, since time began, he remains the same. Faithful, committed to his word, and silent. A cornerstone unstirred. I look down through the ages, and you will find God doesn't change, but he knows the time. From harp, piano, to song to rap, you know. God's with us, so I cannot lack it. So God is doing a new thing in our lives. So we're doing a new thing.
I love the dancing.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, doing a new thing.
This guy's probably about the same age as me. Maybe a little bit older. I don't know what year this is. It's probably like early 90s.
To our music, we're doing a new thing so he can
I turned 10 in 1991.
use
So-
it. God choosing this music out, coming strong. Michael Clancy's y'all singing this song to make you think twice about the way that you live, and that you know Christ is the one who will give peace in your heart, a new start. Calling on the Lord and he'll do his part. A brand new thing to your raggedy walk. He might
It sounds like he has an accent. I don't know if I know he's doing a cover here. This is like DC Talk or one of these Christian rap groups. And I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with the original song to know if the guys from that group have like accents. But it's almost like he's trying to do like an African American dialect.
just match it up to that big old song. God is doing a new thing in our lives, so we're doing a new thing.
What is that dance?
And through Jesus Christ, God is doing a
He's already winded.
new thing through our music. We're doing a new thing so he can use it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Hit me. You know he's doing it. Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing
I
it.
think he's lost the rhythm here.
Yo, who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Doing it. God is doing a new thing. Like an MC, I'm here to boast. I rap about Christ, yo, here's a dope. So loud and proud of the guy I serve. Try to take you with a hook. You got nerve. Christ is the reason for Michael Clancy's. He's a focus of a
Yeah, at this point, he's not even trying to keep it with the rhythm of the music. He's just trying to get through this.
daily walk, y'all. Without him, he ain't not but name. But through God, we're doing brand new things. God is doing a new thing in our lives. So we're doing a new thing through Jesus Christ. God is doing a new
Jesus cry.
thing through our music. We're doing a new thing so he can
He's
use
like,
it.
he's doing this like, yeah! Yeah! Amazing! Give that kid a Grammy or whatever. What's like the Christian version of the Grammy? I'm sure they have like a Christian music awards because they have to have their own everything. Yeah, so yeah, please like the stream. Still trying to hit the weekly bonus show goal. I would have started this morning, but I was dead tired. We didn't have to go until 4 a.m. last night. Like at about, I've noticed for a while that if you don't have the goal by like 10 p.m. or maybe 11 at the latest, you're probably not going to get it on Saturday night. But I was having fun hanging out and drinking, so I was like, let's go until 4 a.m. So that's what we did. We went till 4 a.m. all night and into the early morning. It was fun. You guys can check out that stream, later on if you missed it. Lately I'm fascinated with these fights that Shani and Rev have recorded and uploaded or live streamed. Yeah, I had a good time. Just hanging out, having a drink. Oh, I have more. Shani and Rev arguments. I have more. They've done probably like 10 of them, and a few of them lasted longer than an hour. Yeah, you know, just I was trying, like, obviously I want to hit the goal because it's very important to, like, things continuing to work here, but I knew I probably wasn't going to get it after, like, midnight for sure. So yeah, this is a chill stream, but I'm going to play some stuff and we'll hang out and hopefully, you know, little by little we'll hit the goal. We're like just a little over. We're like $207 away from it. So we'll see where this goes. And I have another, you know, I have the first official show of the week tomorrow. You're going to dono, but you haven't wake and bake? That's cool. Do your thing. I'm going to be here for a few hours at least, so. You know what? I was thinking about this last night, and actually this differs depending on what country you live in. I want to take a poll. All right, here's the poll. When you look at a calendar, yeah, take my poll. When you look at a calendar, which day is the first day of the week on your calendar? And I'm not asking your opinion for, like, what is the first day of the week. Pull up a calendar and look at it. What's the first day of the week? That's what I mean. Because I know for a fact in some European countries, the first day of the week is Monday on the calendar. Like the last day is Sunday. One of the websites I use to upload audio podcasts is a German website, and it always confuses me because when I'm scheduling the release of the audio, the first day, you pull up a little calendar and the first day is Monday and Sunday is the last day. It's very confusing to me. And then they also, which this actually makes a lot of sense, they put the day of the month, then the year in like order of size. But we put the month first, then the day, then the year. And I'm stuck with that. There's no way I believe this is 50-50. So the poll is being rigged. Someone is rigging the poll. So I guess we'll never know. Not that big of a deal. I was just wondering, like, how many people watching when they look at a calendar, what's the first day of the week? Okay, Zap Rosedower is sending. Yeah, and if you send it and it doesn't read, I'll read it out loud. But sometimes it's like profanity filter will catch something. There's no winner or loser here, so there's no reason to rig it, but I've noticed this.
For a time that was the magnum opus of all Christian rap songs, until it was dethroned by the certified hood classic, atheists owned. Tip train.
Thank you for the tip, for the beginning of the tip train. We had one earlier too, so we've already gotten 2 donos, and we're just about to be 200 away. But yeah, I've noticed this as long as I've been doing this and taking polls of an audience. People will like make it a tie, like as a troll. So that's what's happening here. People are using like multiple sock accounts.
Holy shit, Jay-Z is going to prison. The house of cards is tumbling.
Is he really, though? Or is that... He hasn't been arrested, right? I'll agree when he's been charged. Has he been charged with anything? Or is he just like a person of interest? When you're a billionaire, I'm pretty sure Jay-Z is a billionaire. He got accused. That doesn't mean shit. Anybody can accuse anyone of anything. Let's see when he gets, like, actually charged. Yeah, it's Jay-Z. He's, like, super rich. He can afford the best lawyers available. He's in a way better position than, like, most people would be. There we go. Thank you for the $20. Puking dog smiles upon thee. There we go. That's sweet. Now we're at 80%. And wow, it's looking great. I appreciate it, guys. I'm hoping to take this is how boring my life is now. I'm hoping to take Tuesday off because I have a show tomorrow. I'm going to take Tuesday off and go to Costco. My mom sent me a Costco gift certificate. So I'm looking forward to getting essentials from Costco. Some groceries, some household items. That's the exciting news in my life right now. That's yeah, that's adult life, that's middle-aged life. I am in the middle-aged life. Yeah, you can, I mean, yeah, Costco has, like, funeral stuff. Like, they don't have it displayed in the store, but you can order it online. Caskets are expensive. I don't really care, like, I don't need a casket. I don't need a grave. You can just burn me, and I don't need to take up space when I'm dead. That's how I feel. Have you guys seen the human composting where, like, they turn you into mulch after you die? There's a place here in Washington State that's doing that. Like, instead of, like, burning you, they turn you into compost. And you could like grow a tree out of yourself or whatever. That's so much better. Anyway, I'm going to close the poll. Is it really 55-45? I still don't buy that. I don't have that many European viewers. Do they do it in Canada? In Canada, does it start on Monday or Sunday? Making Sunday the first day of the week kind of makes it seem like that's like a Christian thing. Canada is Sunday? Okay. I heard Japan starts on Sunday too, but they probably only do that because the U.S. does. I'm pretty sure like Germany starts on Monday. I'm pretty sure most of the European countries. I don't know about the UK. But a lot of the mainland Europe countries. In Australia, it's Monday. I'm not surprised. So if it's Monday in Australia, I would think the UK it's Monday also. It's kind of funny how Canada is just like this meld of US and UK shit. You know what I mean? Like, it has so many things in common with the UK because of history, but then it has so many things in common with the States due to proximity. I enjoy the differences. Whenever I go to Canada, I'm like, hey, this is so much like the US that it's like it doesn't feel foreign that much. But then when I recognize the differences, I'm like, it's actually kind of better. I like going to Canada. Like, anytime I go there, at the end, I'm not like, oh, shit, I'm ready to come home now. Like, every time I'm like, oh, I wish I could stay a couple more days. But almost every time I've ever been up there, it's been during the summer. I think I was there in, like, the early spring once. And it was Vancouver, and Vancouver has good weather for Canada. Like Vancouver has like the warmest weather year round in Canada. It's like Seattle weather. It'll like rain all winter rather than buckets of snow. I've been to the UK also. The UK is very similar too, you know. We have the US has history with the UK also, just very different than Canada's. And yeah, that's, you know, the first country I went to in Europe was England. And that's a good like wading pool, so to speak. You know? It's like a good wading pool for Europe as an American to go to England first, because the language is mostly the same. Mostly. But it's like bizarro world because they drive on the other side, and you know, it's obviously way more different than Canada. A lot of people can't tell the difference between a Canadian and American accent. Like a lot of people in other countries other than Canada and the States. But I can hear it usually within the first sentence. I can hear it. With them thangs. Man, I haven't watched that guy in a while. The with them thangs guy. I need to check that out. I wonder how that guy, what was his name? Crazy Locks? Crazy Lokes? Something like that. Whew. Crazy Lokes. For reals, though, with them things. I remember the video where he actually got to spar somebody, and he was using his crazy fighting style. It did not look. The guy he was sparring with looked like a trained boxer who probably could have just wrecked him, but he kind of like played along with him. It was kind of adorable. Crazy Lokes looks like he's had his face broken, like he has been in fights and lost them. Like his nose is all fucked up, like it's been broken. Let's take a look here. I'm going to start another poll in just a minute here. Johnny Somali getting beat up is the least of his troubles, right? Isn't he facing like hard time in a country that's unstable right now? Let's see here. Just finding a few things for us to vote on here. Delivers remarks. I'm trying to find the fourth thing to put in the... Sorry, just a second here. Oh. All right. We'll see how this goes. We'll give you about 5 minutes and we'll see what we get out of this. I have not watched any of the Trump interview, but it's like an hour-long interview that he did with NBC News. There's the timer. He'll say a lot of words, but the meaning is actually probably nothing. That's how Trump talks. It's weaving. Remember, he calls it weaving. Weaving. I laughed really hard when I first heard him refer to it as weaving. What? You don't call it weaving? You call it BS? How could you say that? Yeah. Yeah, but he's I mean, he's a master of it, of talking like a politician. So even without any real political experience, he was definitely a he was politically minded. He was very political in the business world, I guess. The thing is that if you kiss his ass, he rewards you for it, and that's the best way to get in with Trump. Kind of like Jared. Like, people know how to manipulate Jared by kissing his ass. You know? You're sick of Trump? It's only just begun. We got Trump for at least 4 more years. I'm not saying he won't leave office in 4 years. He might try to not, but either way, he's still going to be... the Republican Party is the Trump party. So he's going to be in control of this party as long as he stays alive. And then his family will probably still control it after he's gone. Trump used to be like an outsider in the sense that he never held an office, but he's been rubbing elbows with politicians his entire adult life. He's been sliding them money to get them to do what he wants. He used to try to, like him and Ed Koch, the former mayor of New York, they had he got Ed Koch to go lax on certain regulations for his buildings so that he could avoid taxes and avoid certain expenses. Yeah, I've seen the Giuliani video. Absolutely. Yeah, he was buddies with all the politicians on both sides for a while. You know, like he was buddies with the Clintons for sure. I guarantee you he gave money to Hillary when she was running for the Senate. He probably voted for her because she would have been his senator in New York. Well, the friendship seemingly ended in the election of 2016, but who knows how it really is behind the scenes. Oh, damn, we're down to seconds. Looks like Rev and Shanny's fight is the winner by far. Yeah, Trump, especially the politicians in New York, Trump wanted to be in good with them because he lived there. And Hillary had the best chance of winning. I'm pretty sure Bill and Hillary went to Trump's wedding to Melania. Pretty sure. You know, like you don't normally invite people to a wedding unless you're like very good acquaintances with them. All right. Yeah, I guarantee you Trump, because Trump gave money to Kamala back in the day too. But Kamala was all the way on the other side of the country. But Trump more than likely gave money to Hillary, and Trump more than likely voted for Hillary. I don't know if he's ever been asked that, if he voted for Hillary back in the day. I'd like to see someone ask him that. All right, I guess we're going to check out some Rev and Shanny for a little bit here. So let's check it out.
He has done a lot of things to me. So no, I don't regret calling him that word. Because any man, I don't care what skin color you are, any person who tries to steal your house and your home is a fucking
All right. Here it is. Or I thought, here it is. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna. All right, here it is. Here it is. Sorry. I'm. Is there commentary on this one? Oh yeah, this one is commentary, so I don't want to watch this. Here we go.
Try it. It's delicious. Who's that? I think. 1 minute. I gotta pause.
So I guess she gets confronted by the uncle in this one.
Okay, I need to talk to people who sent this fucking stupid letter to, Jason's uncle. Do you want to talk about it, or should I talk about it?
Go for it. I don't care.
Why would you tell him all that fucking BS? Is your life so fucking small where you do everything in your power trying to get me kicked out from one place over another so you can have your laugh on and try to say that I'm some kind of problem? Like, you were telling Tommy that I was doing a bunch of illegal shit. Like, what fucking illegal shit have I been fucking doing online? Can someone tell me? I wouldn't have a channel if I was doing illegal shit.
Right?
But I guess here's the news that I think they really need to hear about this letter. It failed miserably. It failed miserably. The little letter you sent to his uncle. Period. It failed. You lost. Try again to try to ruin my life. people are saying that G-Man sent the letter to his uncle.
This is old. This is not new. So if you think the Ozempic's working, she was definitely not on Ozempic at this point.
Who knows?
Apparently, they sent it by saying they were Santa Claus from the North Pole. Tommy got excited, thinking it was a fucking letter. A Christmas card.
Sure.
To find out it was all this shit written against me. And then I had to go through questions if I did something against him or not. Like even beating Rev. Like I beat and starve him. They even put that in the letter.
Unbelievable bullshit.
It was Drader. Everyone's saying it was Drader. So someone I don't even know at all.
Who the fuck is that?
Someone I don't even know sent a letter saying all this bullshit. Do I have the letter? No. But Tommy said if he has the letter, he's going to give it to us.
Yeah, if he didn't chuck it.
But, he said if he knows who this guy is, he's going after him. So good luck with that, because Tommy has money. So.
Let's see if this picks up. I didn't actually watch this
but it
yet.
failed miserably. Isn't that horrible?
I wonder if she was walking at this point.
Isn't that horrible? That you wasted all your time and energy writing the letter out just for it to
Well,
fucking
Jesus
fail.
Christ, this is literally kicking two bums on the side of the street. Like, we are at the lowest point.
It's complete defamation of character.
Who's got flappier boobs?
Yeah.
Shani or Jessica?
Harassment, man. This is harassment.
And go into people's family members?
But there's a clear motive. It's to get us kicked out, which is stupid. He's my uncle, for fuck's sake.
And he loves Jason.
Yes, he held me as an infant.
Most people are saying Shani, but I see some Jessica in there too. It's hard to. I've seen them both, unfortunately. Like I've seen them bare boobed, both of them. There is quite a bit of flap going on.
And he loves me too.
Yes,
Melons and tube socks.
he does. Very much loves you. You're my girl. Of course he's going to love you.
That's the kind of American flag they have at like a car dealership. You guys ever seen that? How car dealerships have like gigantic American flags? Like an American flag you could like cover a football field with. It's ridiculous.
There's a video of the person putting it in a mailbox. Good. We have evidence of him breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
Fucking stalking people who don't even know who the fuck they are.
Fucking crazy psychos. I can't do it.
American tarp.
I can't do it anymore.
But that's okay. I'm gonna continue making my money.
There's like no in the neighborhood I live in now. There's no like American flags hanging out in front of people's houses or anything like that. Most of my neighbors are Asian. I don't think they're super patriotic. Sometimes like, you know, some people will light off fireworks. Actually, we don't get as many fireworks on the 4th of July as we do in like on New Year's. We get a lot of New Year fireworks.
I'm gonna continue supporting my family the best I possibly can, and doing what I need
I
to
wish she would put like a regular shirt on right now.
do for my well-being and the well-being of the people who I love. This is the stupidest move ever. Yeah. This guy must truly hate his life. I've never heard of him, so I hate to judge what I don't know, but by this action alone tells me he's a miserable human being.
Yeah.
Human being.
He wants to see other people miserable so he can feel better about himself.
But we're already on the side of the road with nothing.
You're not on the side of the road.
We're down, man.
Thank you, Watermelon.
Isn't Watermelon their
Like,
cat?
gang stomp two people that are already half dead on the side of the road, man. Like, why are you doing this?
To expect more to come from Rev's uncle? Really? Are you sure you want to do that? That's not smart with him. Because he knows people.
Don't do that shit.
Don't do that. He knows people. And I'm gonna tell Tommy exactly who did it. So he can press charges or whatever he wants to do.
So we can press charges. Okay.
Fucking idiot messing with that dude.
That's a common lolcow thing, thinking that, like, the cops are always going to take their side and that the cops, like, arrest people over internet drama. It's very common. I remember when Jared was, like, calling the FBI on everybody. He stopped doing that because, like, he has no faith in the government or anything anymore. But I remember when he was doing that, he was calling the FBI on people.
But that's really fucking
Watermelon brought them a dead mouse to eat.
psychotic to go to
Shani would eat it all.
someone's, like...
She'd just, like, ow, like, swallow it like that. She'd swallow it like an anaconda.
extended family like that.
Ridiculous.
Like, you really are that fucking weird about people on the internet that you're gonna go to their extended family members just to trash them over lies?
Yeah.
Jenny, look up the suspect arrested in Idaho for murders. Let's change the subject. Came to Scranton, apparently.
Nuts.
Am I worried about the uncle starting watching my streams? What's gonna happen? He's gonna see me talk to people?
Yeah, what the fuck? Nothing bad happens here.
He's gonna see me talk to people and review fucking videos and play video games? Oh my god. If the claims in the letter are untrue, then it's liable. And they are untrue. I don't beat Rev.
No.
I don't starve the boy.
No. Don't hold it.
I heard there were pictures and videos being sent to the uncle as proof.
Ha!
Oh my god. You really want to get that stalking thing on charge on you, don't you?
Yeah, that's stalking charge. Yeah. That happens all the time. People get charged with stalking.
Like, you don't even know who this dude is, but yet you're gonna go and try to contact someone that has nothing to do with you. To someone who knows nothing about you on the internet. You're a fucking idiot.
Hey, watermelon. Watermelon.
You were always asking kids what they wanted to eat. I don't understand where people get that from. I don't either.
It's just lies.
Whoa. What was that?
They are obsessed with me, and they're gonna get in jail someday for it. They really are, because they're messing with the wrong one this time. He hasn't eaten peanut butter in days.
It's crazy how all he would eat was
He's been
peanut
so
butter.
stuffed up with everything we've been getting from you guys that he has not been eating peanut butter.
No.
He's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I don't need peanut
He's a little
butter.
fluffy too.
Probably.
which is good.
Golly. All right, my body does that naturally in the cold. That's my genetics. I get a layer of fat when it gets cold.
He's too full to eat peanut butter. So Shani ate it instead. When does it happen?
And she has all the blood work for cancer. So
yeah, but you never raised money for cancer.
And I never raised, and they're probably dig deep technically.
Let's see here.
We'll see what happens. Think I'm not lying. Cancer.
Yeah, she was telling people she had cancer for a while.
Aww. What the fuck is this?
Cancer had stage 4 Shani. That's a good one. Like she's her cancer's cancer.
The fuck, man? She's mad that I blocked her.
Okay.
Whatever, be mad that I've blocked you. I don't give a fuck. Never once laugh out loud. Honestly, though, you've never asked for any money on a cancer basis ever. Fuck them. No, I haven't.
Get blocked.
No, I fucking haven't. Good luck trying to prove that shit. Getting the fucking meds that I need. Can someone explain in the audience the difference between a diagnosis and a prognosis?
Okay. Now Jason has to like pat her back.
I'm glad I could help. The unknown is scary. It is. When did I claim that I had cancer? I said I'm being tested for it.
I don't have the video, but I could have swore she did.
I said my doctor's worried about it. I said this is how breast cancer does look like.
Ugh. Don't show us.
The doctor. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, fuck.
Could I get the 10-piece chicken McNuggets? Wait, no, Big Mac.
Sir?
I'm still here.
Get 2 favorites like a Big Mac.
Why
and
is this
10-piece chicken
commercial
McNuggets for
playing?
just
Not a
$6
sponsor.
right now at McDonald's.
Fuck you all.
Whoever edited this is very weird.
Like, seriously. You're getting all mad at me over shit that I don't even know. Thank you, Me Too. It's not a lie. It's a process. If anyone knows anything, it's a long process. Super exam. Fuck. Oh, go away. Just be an asshole somewhere else. A diagnosis precedes a prognosis. Merriam-Webster. Thank you!
Yeah, it was not an ad on my stream. For some reason, they put a McDonald's ad in the video, I guess to make fun. Is it like a fat joke or something? He's just sitting there like with his hand on her back.
Fuck me.
Okay. This is not recent. If you can tell, Jason's hair is like way shorter and he has more weight on him. That's one indication that it is not recent. I have one where they actually do fight. I thought she was going to argue with the uncle. Whoever made this titled it kind of weird, too.
Like, what if my prognosis is bad?
Oh, yeah?
What if it is really bad?
Oh, my God.
Something that you come to when you come.
I don't want to hurt you like that.
That's already.
Such a victim.
I love
But
you.
I can't.
I love you. It's not your fault. You just have been sick. You've probably been sick a long time, honey. Like years, I think.
It's not good. I guarantee it's not good.
I think.
I haven't been taking care of myself.
It has been depression.
It has been depression.
Blame it on depression. Blame it on depression.
It's been depression and taking care of everyone else and not myself for years. Being afraid of actually getting the prognosis is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That fear stops you from wanting to even go further in that.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I'm fucking scared. And I'm treated like shit every day for it.
You should ignore them. I hate to give her advice, but it's like, you should just ignore it. Because it's working. So they keep doing it.
My dad died of cancer last year, and my mom died this year of cancer. So, like,
Okay. I'm going to move on to the next one here.
you're saying we don't give money to people who do edibles and stuff, but you give money for people to hate others. You give money for random stupid causes, not something that actually helps someone. Like, I don't know how many times you haters came to me asking for money and I gave you it, knowing that you hated me. But now it's turned, I'm a scam artist. How am I a scam artist? I'm showing you my bills. I'm showing you I'm going under. So if you don't see me, you're going to know why. You're going to know why. You're going to know why. It's because I didn't get the support I needed. So, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, you want me to do a full-time, like, on the feet job, and I can't fucking do that anymore.
Oh, I already watched this one.
Expected me to be in the video too with you.
Oh, yeah. I already
For
watched
certain
this
things.
one. Damn it. Here's some Revelation News doing an interview with someone. I'm going to look for another fight video.
Welcome to Revelation News.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Revelation News.
Welcome, folks. And tonight, I am extremely blessed
and highly favored of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, because I am joined by one of my favorite people that I've ever talked to in my life, let alone in the truth community or during my time as what I did. The
as
YouTube
what
deal,
my
and
time
I
as
had a
what I
Blog Talk
did.
radio show with Philip Kirshner, and Stan was always such a great guest. So I want to go to do him right now. Absolutely incredible to have you on, Stan, and I want to thank you from the bottom
I'm looking
of my
for
heart,
something else.
because you're the first and only truther out there that has actually chatted me back and willing to do a show. So how have you been?
Well, I guess since the last time we've had, the weather, the snow, the heat we've got now. We've had crazy weather.
We do.
So yeah, I'm fine. We've weathered, the changes in the climate, which are really not typical for this time of year. I don't know what's happening.
And that, you know what? Because I'm an old man, I still use like paper, so I jotted down some general things we could talk about, and I could talk to you for 16 hours straight. So you're welcome to do as long as you want, Stan. When you're ready to say I'm done, that's great with me. Okay?
All right. Well, let's just answer your questions. I mean,
Okay.
Start there.
Gotcha. Okay. So my first thing always, because you're well known for this, you monitor Earth changes. So my question to you is, where are we at in terms of the climate? Is it just like so far gone that we're done? Is it just the sun doing its thing? What's going on with our Earth as you see it?
Well, there are a number of things happening. The magnetic poles, there are 3 pairs of them, 3 north-south pairs inside our planet that are fighting for control of the...
Okay, yeah, this is honestly what Rev should be doing. If he doesn't want the weird shit coming at him. Like... He should be doing boring shit like this. Let's watch this.
Today's a beautiful day. Oh my God, it's amazing. I love it. Yeah. Can I say that my first week as a sex worker has been extremely eventful, and I love it. Whoa. Perfect. But there's an issue about my dick size. Disorders.
Oh no, all I could find are commentary videos on these fights. I want the raw footage. I guess I'll have to look for it a little more. I'm gonna play, let's check out the Trump interview.
President-elect Donald Trump, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. You are the first president since Grover Cleveland to win
Yes, he's a pastor and a sex worker.
on consecutive terms.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans now have control of the House and the Senate.
Right.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 100 days in office?
Well, we're going to do something with the border, and very strong, very powerful. That'll be our first signal, and a first signal to America that we're not playing games. We have people coming in by the millions, as you know.
Millions!
A lot of people shouldn't be here. Most of them shouldn't be here, but we have jails being emptied into our country. We have mental institutions from all over the world being emptied into our country. So we'll be doing that. We're going to be extending within that period, or as soon as we can, the Trump tax cuts, because, they're coming due and they're very substantial for people. And it would be I think it will anger a lot of people, frankly, if we don't get an extension of that. That's what led us to one of the greatest economies ever. And those two things are going to be very vital, very important. We're going to be focusing on crime in the cities, and we'll work with Democrat governors. Most of them are, as you know, if you look at the 25 worst places, they're just about all Democrat controlled.
That's so misleading the way he's putting that.
Cities and states, and we're going to be working with Democrat
All the bad places are Democrat-run cities and states.
and Democrat mayors. And
So if it's like a red state, he'll just blame the city. Most cities are Democrat. So he'll just blame the big city for all the bad stuff. It's like a lot of states wouldn't function well without the large cities in them.
I look forward to doing it, but we have to do something about crime, and mostly in our cities. And
well, yeah, there's higher crime in cities. More people live there.
we're going to have a lot of other things. We'll be working on nominations. We're going to still be working on some nominations. I think they're going very well. We have, for the most part, I think they're going extremely well. It looks like Peter's doing well now. I mean, people were a little bit concerned. He's a young guy with a tremendous track record, actually. He went to Princeton and went to Harvard. He was a good student at both, but he loves the military, and I think people are starting to see it. So we'll be working on his nomination along with a lot of others.
We are going to delve into your nominations, but since you bring him up, do you still have confidence in Pete Hegseth?
Yes, I do. I really do. He's a very smart guy.
Oh,
I've
God.
known him through Fox, but I've known him for a long time. And he's basically a military guy. I mean, every time I talk to him, all he wants to talk about is the military. He's a military guy. I used to kid him about it. I didn't think he would be in this position where he may be, hopefully will be Secretary of Defense. But every time I was with him, he was fighting for soldiers, where he said some soldier was...
He's not fighting for women soldiers, though.
...unjustly put in prison because they were really doing what they were taught to do, in some cases. So, yeah, I think he's going to do fine.
The fact that there are these allegations against him, misconduct, sexual misconduct, heavy drinking, the fact that he said to some senators reportedly he'll stop drinking if he gets this job, does that worry you?
No, I think that everybody has something that they can stop. Some people can stop eating. I'm lucky I'm not a drinker, but I could stop eating. And we all want to stop doing something. And if he said that, I mean, that's a nice thing to say. That's a good thing to say. But he's very respected. I can tell you, I know a lot of the people at Fox.
Yes! You're grateful for weed? I'm grateful for weed, too. Thank you so much, Raymond. We're so close. If anyone else wants to keep the tip train rolling, please use the link pinned in the top of the chat.
They think he's fantastic. And the people that work with him, really, they love him. So I think you're going to have somebody that's really terrific. And again, all he talked about with me, I said, you know, you're not really a television guy, even though he did very well, as you know. You're really a military guy. He said, I'm all about the military. And I told him, so he's making a lot of money at Fox. They're doing very well. And I said, you know, if for some reason you don't get this thing, you're not going to be able to go back. And all that money you're making, you can kiss it goodbye. He said, this is all about America. You know, he didn't.
You can see through his comb over now. Like, his hair is so thin compared to how it was even 8 years ago. It looks like, because I have dogs, it looks like what I get when I sweep up the floor. Like a mixture of, like, dog hair and dust. And he just puts it on top of his head.
Say, well, let me think about it. Let me discuss it. That's a very big, risky thing he's doing. When he goes and he says, I'm going to give up, you know, millions of dollars.
Millions!
In order to possibly become the Secretary of Defense. A lot of people would say it's a great position. It's probably almost no greater position, but a lot of people would say, I have to think about it. He said, I don't have to think about it.
All right, we're going to delve into your cabinet picks a little bit later, but I want to delve into one of your signature promises on the campaign trail, which was to end inflation, to lower prices. You are now proposing tariffs against the United States' three biggest trading partners. Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe it.
Can you guarantee American families
I don't believe it, because that means I'm doing a bad thing.
won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. But I can say that if you look at just pre-COVID, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I had a lot of tariffs on a lot of different countries, but in particular China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we had no inflation. In fact, when I handed it over, they didn't have inflation for a year and a half. They went almost 2 years just based on what I had created. And then they created inflation with energy and with spending too much. So I think we will. I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich. We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada,
become a state.
And we're subsidizing many countries all over the world. And all I want to do is I want to have a level, fast, but fair playing field.
Sir, your previous tariffs during your first administration cost Americans some $80 billion, and now you have major companies from Walmart, Black & Decker, AutoZone saying that any tariffs are going to force them to drive up prices for their consumers. How do you make sure that these CEOs, that these companies don't, in fact, pass on the cost of tariffs to their consumers?
They cost Americans nothing. They made a great economy for us. They also solve another problem. If we were going to have problems having to do with wars and having to do with other things, tariffs, I have stopped wars with tariffs by saying, you guys want to fight?
I have stopped wars with tariffs. Which war? Which war stopped because of a Trump tariff? I don't believe that happened. Can he give more information? I will be right back in just a moment, and we'll watch more of this.
From the streets of Casper, the Dark Lord is here. The sexy got fat boy, sipping on a beer. Streaming after midnight, in Papa John's. By the misty green light, his time has come. It's King Cobra, he's defeated all the trolls. It's King Cobra, he will harvest all your souls. It's King Cobra, gonna make the sickos pay. It's King Cobra, gonna cast a spell today. Brewing Skittles mean the seal of approval. Yet another drink combo, worldwide sicko removal. Streaming after midnight, eating Papa John's. By the misty green light, his time has come. It's King Cobra, he's defeated all the trolls. It's King Cobra, he will harvest all your souls. It's King Cobra, gonna make the sickos pay. It's King Cobra, gonna cast a spell today. Bugs in his beard, bugs on his food, bugs on his chair, drinking, getting stewed out.
All right. All right, back to Trump.
But both of you are going to pay tariffs to the United States at 100%. And they have many purposes, tariffs, if properly used. I don't say you use them like a madman. I say properly used.
Like a madman.
But it didn't cost this country anything. It made this country money. And we never really got the chance to go all out because we had to fight COVID in the last part. And we did it very successfully. And when I handed it over to Biden, the stock market was higher than what it was just previous to COVID coming in. It was actually higher. Tariffs are
And it went even higher under Biden.
Are a very
What's your
powerful
point?
tool, not only economically, but also for getting other things outside of economics.
Well, again, prices did go up on some goods in your first administration, washing machines, tires. Will you punish CEOs?
Let me just explain to you. No. You mentioned washing machines. So you look at Whirlpool in Ohio. I got a call from Jim Jordan, one of the greats.
One of the greats.
From Ohio. And he said,
I
"They're
hate
going
Jim
out of
Jordan.
business because South Korea and China are dumping washing machines into our country. And I put a 50% tariff on the washing machines coming in from China and South Korea.
Yeah, I was trying to get it to sound like Danzig, but it wouldn't do it.
And Whirlpool and the companies that made washing machines, which are based in Ohio, largely based in Ohio, went through the roof. We saved thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. They were all going out of business because they were dumping washing machines. And when I put the tariffs on, they became successful businesses. No, it didn't. Not only didn't it cost people, it made our country stronger and more powerful, and it kept jobs.
But how do you make sure that consumers don't wind up paying more? Will you punish CEOs who try to pass the cost of tariffs on to their customers?
Well, the market's going to take care of it. I mean, actually, the market takes care of it. And if it doesn't, we adjust it somewhat. But in the case of Whirlpool, or let's say companies that made washing machines, they were all being put out of business by
What does that mean?
Dumping from, in particular, South Korea and China. And when I put the tariffs on, very substantial tariffs, although peanuts compared to what people do to us, what countries do to us, it became a very, very powerful, successful company. Now, let's say I didn't do the tariffs. It would have gone out of business. You would have lost tens of thousands of jobs, and you don't include that in your equation. No, they make a lot of money. I'll go a step further. Tariffs are going to make our country rich. Tariffs are going to help us pay off $35 trillion in debt. Tariffs are going to make our country safe because China, as an example, doesn't want to play games with us if we're going to do tariffs on them. They don't want to play games. And we have a lot of games being played on us right now.
Well, I think, and that takes me to my next question. Yeah. Are you actually going to impose these tariffs, or are they a negotiating tactic?
Well, I'll give you an example. With Canada, and in particular Mexico, we have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that. I spoke with I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within about 15 seconds after the call ended. Yeah. He was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border, too, a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in, maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%. That's a very substantial tariff. And in the case of, in both cases, but in the case where it was really visible, within 10 minutes after that phone call, we noticed that the people coming across the border, the southern border, having to do with Mexico, they were at a trickle, just a trickle. It was, in fact, I call the border. See, unlike my opponent, I do call the border a lot. And I said, how's the border looking today? They said, there's nobody here. They couldn't believe it. The military stopped these vast groups of people. You know, we call them caravans, but they had caravans of people, and they largely stopped them. Now, they're going to have to continue that, but if they don't continue, and the other thing I told them is no more drugs. And I told that to China, too. I had to deal with President Xi. Had the election been different, I'm going to be very nice because we don't have to get into an argument over 2020. But had the election been different, the result been different, we would have had China giving their maximum penalty, which is the penalty of death.
He still doesn't want to admit that he lost, but he's like, oh, we'll put it behind us.
To people that sent fentanyl into this country. But Biden didn't, unfortunately, finish that discussion up. I had an agreement with President Xi, who I got along with very well. We've had communication as recently as this week. And I had communication with him where they were going to give the death penalty to anybody sending drugs into the United States.
This week you had that conversation.
Not that conversation, but I had other conversations. Okay. But in the past, I've had that conversation.
Let me ask you about another aspect of the economy, sir, the minimum wage. The federal minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2009. There are 20 states that still have the federal minimum wage at $7.25. And I actually have a map. 19 of these states actually voted for you, sir. Mm-hmm. And you can see it right here. I don't know if you remember this, but during the debate in 2020, I asked you if you would raise the minimum wage. You said you would consider it. And so my question for you is, now that you are going back to the White House, for these 19 states that voted for you, are you going to raise the federal minimum wage?
It's a very low number. I will agree. It's a very low number. Let me give you the downside, though. Yeah. In California, they raised it up to a very high number. And your restaurants are going out of business all over the place. The population is shrinking. It's had a very negative impact. But there is a level at which you could do it, absolutely. Yeah.
What is that level, do you
I don't
think?
know. I mean, I really don't know. I can say this. You have a lot of businesses that are open and thriving because of the lower minimum wage. If you raise it too much, and you understand this, if California went crazy, they went crazy. And people, the
I'm pretty
restaurants are
sure
closing all
Washington has the highest minimum wage.
Many more people are hurt.
So I hear you saying, similarly to sort of what you said in 2020, will you consider it? Is this something you're going to look at?
I'd want to speak to the governors. And the other thing that's very complicated about minimum wages is places are so different. Mississippi and Alabama and great places are very different than New York or California. I mean, in terms of...
Yeah, Washington, D.C. has the highest minimum wage at $17 an hour, and Washington State has the second highest. If you only count the states, Washington State has the highest minimum wage at $16.28. Then California at $16 even.
The cost of living and other things. So it would be nice to have just a minimum wage for the whole country, but it wouldn't work because you have places where it's very inexpensive to live, where a minimum wage, which is $8 or $9, might be, might have very little effect because the cost of living in certain places is really low.
Before we move on to immigration, which I do want to talk about, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said he will not leave his post even if you ask him to. Will you try to replace Jerome Powell?
No, I don't think so. I don't see it. But I don't. I think if I told him to, he would. But if I asked him to, he probably wouldn't. But
if I told him to, he'd obey me.
He would.
You don't have plans to do that right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's talk about mass deportation, one of your big agenda items. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country. And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country. They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder. So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers.
By the way, the reason he said online and not inline is because that's like a New York thing. They say I'm standing online, not inline. It's weird.
Released into our country over the last 3 years. They're walking down the streets. They're walking next to you and your family. And they're very dangerous.
The 13,000 figure, I think, goes back about 40 years.
No, it doesn't. No,
that
it's within the 3-year period.
figure.
It's during the Biden term. No, that was a fiction that they put that out.
Had to eat
This
a quick
was done
dinner.
by the Border Patrol. It's 13,099, and it's during the Biden period of time. And these are murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. You don't want those people in this country.
But you're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal
Let's all just switch to queue up.
histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm
is what
saying
you're
this.
saying.
We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been? They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang probably with MS-13, and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people. And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over, literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They couldn't. They just are. They're in the real estate business.
You know, the local police say that is not the case in Colorado.
Oh, it's totally the case. I mean, I have it
you
on
don't
tape.
believe the local police.
I play it. I used to play it at my rallies every single night. No, they're breaking into doors. They're taking over the building.
But sir, you
and by the way,
raised the point.
The police are afraid to do anything.
You raised the point that the logistics are complicated. You said
Sure
it yourself.
they are,
You would
but everything's complicated.
Yeah, you mean you need 24 times more ICE detention capacity just to deport 1 million people per year, not to mention more agents, more judges, more planes. Is it realistic to deport everyone who's
You have
here
no
illegally?
choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
Others are other people outside of criminals. We have convicted murders. We don't mean people that are even on trial. We have people that have murdered numerous people are on our streets and in our farms, and we have to get them out of our country.
What about dreamers, sir? Dreamers who were brought to this country illegally as children. You said once back in 2017, they, quote, shouldn't be very worried about being deported. Should they be worried now?
The dreamers are going to come later, and we have to do something.
They're going to come later. How?
Because these are people that have been brought here at a very young age, and many of these are middle-aged people now. They don't even speak the language of their country. And yes, we're going to do something about the dreamers.
What does that mean?
And
what are you going to do?
I will work with the Democrats on a plan, and if we can come up with a plan, but the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to the dreamers. The dreamers, we're talking many years ago, they were brought into this country, many years ago. Some of them are no longer young people, and in many cases, they become
They grew up
successful.
here.
They have great jobs.
And most of them can speak English. Let's be clear about that.
In some cases, they have small businesses. Some cases, they might have large businesses. And we're going to have to do something with them. And
you want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying?
I do. Okay. I want to be able to work something out. And it should have been able to be worked out over the last 3 or 4 years. And it never got worked out. You know, Biden could have done it because he controlled, Congress to a certain extent, right? He could have done something, but they didn't do it. I never understood why, because they always seem to want to do it, but then when it comes down to it, they don't. I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Let me ask you about another group of people, the estimated 4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are
You're talking about separation.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are two aspects to this. Your borders are, Tom Homan said, they can be deported together.
Correct.
Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep well, I don't want to be breaking up families. So the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together and you have to send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you're going to do if they want to stay with the father, look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what's going to be horrible. When we take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal and they show the woman, and she could stay by the law, but they show the woman being taken out, or they want her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country, and then the public turns against us. But we have to do our job, and you have to have a series of standards and a series of laws. And in the end, look, our country is a mess. We have the highest crime rate, and during the debate...
We have the highest crime rate compared to what? What does that mean, the highest crime rate? The highest crime rate compared to other countries? That's not true. The highest crime rate compared to the past? Huh? We don't have the highest crime rate.
Whose ratings have gone way down. David Muir said to me, no, crime is, because I had to debate 3 people, not one. Debating 1 was easy. Debating 3 was actually pretty easy, too, if you want to know the truth. But David Muir said, the crime rates have gone down. I said, no, they've gone up. And then the following day, they released the crime rates, and they were way up.
Yeah, the FBI statistics, you're talking about those FBI statistics.
Well, no, but he gave the wrong answer.
Confusing based on what you're looking at.
But a lot of that is migrant crime.
Let me ask you about another aspect of this.
Christian, you know a lot of it's migrant crime.
Well, let me ask you about another aspect of this that I think a lot of people are really curious about. I mean, 3% of the people who are here illegally have criminal histories. But in your first administration, you had the zero tolerance policy, where we did see family separations.
Yeah.
You ended it. The purpose of that, though, to some extent, you talked about this at the time, was deterrent.
You also had it with Obama. You do know that.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
And you also know he built the jails for children.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
But in 2014, he built the jails. You know that.
I want to ask you about the zero tolerance policy. I mean, he didn't have a systemic, we're going to separate families. Families were separated when parents were a threat to the kids.
We don't have to separate a family.
This.
Excuse me, Kristen.
Yeah.
We don't have to separate families. Yeah. We'll send the whole family very humanely back to the country where they came.
Very humanely.
That way the family's not separated.
So no more family separations. You're not reviving the zero tolerance policy.
It depends on the family. The family may decide to say, I'd rather have Dad go, and we'll stay here. And in which case they have that option.
But you're not going to revive your zero tolerance policy, which was put in place as a deterrent. Is there any universe?
She has to keep asking the same question.
Look, ready? When somebody comes here illegally, they're going out. It's very simple. When they come here illegally, they're going out. Now, if they come here illegally, but their family is here legally, then the family has a choice. The person that came in illegally can go out, or they can all go out together. And that was made very clear by Tom Homan.
So you're not, at this point in time, planning to revive that zero tolerance policy where kids are
Well, if you call
separated.
that, yeah, I'm doing what I just told you I'm going to do. You know, I don't want to send the family out. I don't want to send anybody out. But I'll tell you, we have to, because otherwise we have no country. If we don't have borders, and if we don't have voting, good voting, fair voting, do you know they're still counting votes in San Diego, California? Listen, they're still counting the votes. This is almost 4 weeks. They're still counting the votes.
I don't even know if that's true.
If we don't have fair elections and honest voting and machines that work quickly, you know, if you had paper ballots, every election will be over by 10 o'clock in the evening.
So, let me ask you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let me, before we get
and you get a much more accurate count.
Before we get to all of that, let me ask you about some of your other promises on this topic. You've promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. That is so anti-American to end birthright citizenship. That's like always been a part of America as a country.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons...
Since that amendment was passed, obviously. Not since day one, obviously, but the amendment that made that. When was that passed?
Born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot...
1868.
Just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need to, on our land. Congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you.
By the way, we are not the only country that has birthright citizenship. Not even close. Why does he say this? Like most countries in North and South America have it.
We have to end it. It's ridiculous. Do you know we're the only country in the world that has it? Do you know that?
That's not true. Why? He's saying that with such certainty.
There's not one other country.
What about the legal challenge, inevitable legal challenges that'll come?
Do you know we have thousands of judges? Somebody walks onto our land, and we have to now say, welcome to the United States. They could be a criminal or not a criminal. We release them into our country. It's called catch and release. We release them into our country. Wait, just 1 second. And now they get them lawyers. And the lawyers are good lawyers. And everybody has a lawyer. And do you know how many judges we have? Thousands. Thousands. Now, here's what other countries do. They come into the land and they say, I'm sorry, you have to go. And they take them out. Okay? With us, once they touch our land, we're into litigation that lasts for years, costs us hundreds of billions of dollars. We have judges, and I'm sure they're all honest, but I don't know that for a fact. You can imagine what's going on with the judges. But just so you, because I have a lot of judges. I
got a lot of judges.
I know more about judges than any human being in history.
He's so hyperbolic. No, you don't know more about judges than any human being in history.
Look, we have judges. Every time somebody puts 2 feet or even 1 foot on a piece of our land, it's welcome to long-term litigation. Other countries, every other country, when somebody walks on and they see that they're here illegally, they walk them off, they take them back to where they came from. We have to get rid of this system. It's killing our country.
Let's talk about health care. I've been talking to Republican lawmakers on.
She's not pushing back on anything, if you notice. She knows that we're not the only country that has birthright citizenship. I'm looking at a map of countries right now that have unrestricted birthright citizenship. Right here. The dark blue ones have completely unrestricted birthright citizenship. So all of North America and most of South America, and then the light blue ones have restrictions, various restrictions. We're the only country in the world that has
Capitol
it.
Hill, they say it's no longer feasible to repeal and replace Obamacare because it's so entrenched in the system. Do you see it that way? Is that now off the table, repealing and replacing
when John
Obamacare?
McCain let us down by voting, and Murkowski and Collins and whoever it was that voted against, but they really let us down. They did us a great disservice because we would have had great health. Obamacare is lousy health care. It's very expensive health care for the people. It's also expensive for the country, but for the people. It's lousy health care. When John McCain gave his thumbs down after saying for 10 years that he wants to repeal and replace, okay? And then he came out, put his now famous thumbs down.
Yeah.
And he became a hero to the left. Let me tell you, if we find something better, I would love to do it. But one thing I have to say, I inherited Obamacare. Or anything else you want to go. It's got about 20 names.
He's never had to buy insurance from Obamacare, so he doesn't give a fuck. Like, that's the only way I can get health insurance.
But I inherited it. And I had a decision to make with Health and Human Services. I had a big decision to make. Do I make it as good as we can make it, or do I let it rot? And a lot of political people said, let it rot. And let it be a failure. I said, that's not the right thing to do. And I had very good people in the medical area
I have very good people in the medical area. He's basically a doctor.
Handled that. And I said, what do you want to do? He said, we really have an obligation to make it as good as we can. And we did. We made it as good as we can make it. Instead of making it bad where everybody would be calling for its repeal, I made it so that it works. Now,
but you did try to overturn it, sir.
It's
you did
lousy.
try to overturn it. You did have your Justice Department try to direct the Supreme Court to overturn it.
No, we got a little bit of a surprising opinion, to be honest with you. If it would have been overturned, we would have had much better health care right now. But right now, we have something that I made the best of. I could have made the worst of it, and it would have fallen by the wayside. I did the right thing from a human standpoint. But, I'm sort of proud of my decision. At the same time,
he's proud of himself.
Sometimes I regret it.
Who would have guessed?
I told the people, and I gave them the money to do it. I said, fix it, make it work, because people would have suffered. But it's too bad that they voted no. I wish John McCain, he fought for 10 years on replacing.
Yeah, he did it to fuck with you, and he knew he was about to die. He had some kind of change of heart.
Obamacare for 10 years.
And you disrespected him.
And then he voted against. Nobody understands it.
Sir, you said during the campaign you had concepts of a plan. Do you have an actual plan at this point for health care?
Yes, we have concepts of a plan that would be better.
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed?
Trump is not a boomer. He is a member of what they call the silent generation, which is the generation before the baby boomers.
Plan?
Let me explain. We have
Trump and Biden are both silent generation.
The biggest healthcare companies looking at it.
George Bush and Bill Clinton and Obama are boomers. Obama's a very young boomer.
You have doctors. We're always looking because Obamacare stinks. It's lousy. There are better answers. If we come up with a better answer, I would present that answer to Democrats and to everybody else, and I do something about it. But until we have that, or until they can approve it, but we're not going to go through the big deal. I am the one that saved Obamacare, I will say, and I did the right thing. I could have done the more political thing and killed it. And all I had to do was starve it to death.
You did try to have your Justice Department affected.
All I had to do was starve it to
kill it
death.
from a legal standpoint, but from a physical standpoint, I made it work.
In your concepts of a plan, sir, will people with pre-existing conditions still have coverage? And can you guarantee their prices will not go up?
The answer is yes. They'll have coverage. You have to have it.
And what about their prices?
Because you know what?
What about their prices, sir?
I want the prices to go down. I want to have better health care for less money. And there are ways of doing it, I believe. And I have the smartest people in that world. You know, that's a separate world unto itself. I have the smartest people in that world looking at it and trying. And if they come up with something, I will present it. Now, maybe you won't be able to sell it. But if we get better health care for less money, I believe it's very saleable.
Just very quickly, when will we see your fully developed plan? When are you going to show
I don't know
the
that you'll
public
see it at all. I can only say that we have some of the best healthcare people. I've always tinkered with it. I think it's a little hard to explain. Obamacare, when I took it over, was a disaster.
It's not even called Obamacare. That's not even the actual name for it. It might as well be, though, because that's what everyone calls it.
And I made it
It has insured
workable.
20 million people.
Yeah, because of me.
What?
Because of me. If you look at what I did, I was the one. I made it good.
I made it good.
Repeal and replace it. You tried
Because
to kill
if I
it,
repealed
sir.
it and replaced it, we would have had a better system because we wouldn't have had health care. And the Democrats would have been forced to do something. If we wouldn't have had it, the Democrats would have been forced to do something that they wouldn't do if we have it.
Let me ask you about another aspect of healthcare. You talked about this on the campaign trail, IVF. You promised free IVF for all who want it, either through the government or through mandates with insurance companies.
Ooh, I want to go on a mandate.
I've been hearing from Republican senators, some of them, who say they're not going to support that plan. How are you going to get that passed?
Well, we're going to see. We want them to pay, ideally the insurance companies to pay for it, the fertilization. I came out very early for a Republican especially, and I think they were looking for my guidance, my great wisdom, right? They were looking for it. And I got a call from Katie Britt, who's a terrific person, senator from Alabama, and she said, sir, we just had a really negative ruling from a judge in Alabama, conservative judge, that all of these clinics had to be closed. And she said, and she went into great detail, and she said people are devastated over it. And after literally speaking to her for 5 minutes, I issued an order, really an order in a sense, and it was a statement from the Republican Party that we are all for IVF and fertilization. Okay. The Alabama legislature met the following day and passed it. It was a beautiful thing to see. And I consider myself to be the father of IVF in a certain way. And the Republicans were very strong on the issue.
But, sir, I want to understand where it falls in your list of priorities. I mean, is this something we can expect to see you try to move on in the first 100 days?
We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be seeing. We have a lot of other things. I have tax cuts. You know, we'll be submitting in either the first or second package to Congress the extension of the tax cuts. So that might very well be in there, or it'll come sometime after that.
Let's talk about abortion, sir. You have taken responsibility for overturning Roe v. Wade. You've said that abortion is now a state issue. There are steps that you could take, though, as president to restrict abortion through executive action without Congress. More than half of abortions in this country are medication abortions. Will you restrict the availability of abortion pills when you're in office?
I'll probably stay with exactly what I've been saying for the last 2 years, and the answer is no.
You commit to that?
Well, I commit. I mean, do things change? I think they change. I hate to go on shows like Joe Biden. I'm not going to give my son a pardon. I will not under
I knew he was going to find a way to talk about
any circumstances give him a pardon. I watched this, and I always knew he was going to give him a pardon, and so I don't like putting myself in a position like that. So things do change, but I don't think it's going to change at all.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your
no more seatbelts.
Picks.
That's a good
to
one.
Fill out your administration. You named Kash Patel to be the next FBI director.
Yeah.
He has a list in his book of 60 people that he calls members of the so-called deep state. It includes Democrats like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. It includes former members of your cabinet, from Bill Barr to Christopher Wray. You campaigned on destroying the deep state. Do you want Kash Patel to launch investigations into people on that list?
No, I mean, he's going to do what he thinks is right.
Do you think that's right? Do you think that's right, sir?
If they think that somebody was dishonest or crooked or a corrupt politician, I think he probably has an obligation to do it. But
are you going to direct him to do it?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have two great people there. We have him and we have Pam. And Pam Bondi has been like a rocket ship. She's very popular and very good.
By the way, please like the stream if you haven't already. And I'm doing this stream. Hopefully we can end the weekly goal tonight. We're almost there. 85%. So if you're out there, and even if we meet the goal right now, I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep streaming for at least an hour. So don't think that, if we reach it, I'm just gonna end the stream right away. I'll go for at least another hour. Didn't he pardon his son-in-law's father? Yes, I think he did. He gave all kinds of pardons. He gave Roger Stone a pardon. He's pardoned so many people because of who they are. He says he's going to pardon the January 6th rioters. So he can't really talk shit about Biden pardoning his son. I think it was a bad move. I wasn't happy with it because he promised he wouldn't do it, but Trump has no room to talk. I don't like most presidential pardons. It's a weird fringe benefit of being president, where you're so above the law that you can get your buddies out of jail. It is weird.
Good and very fair.
And how Biden did a blanket pardon for Hunter. And I thought you had to actually have a crime on the books. I didn't know you could do a blanket pardon where if he happened to commit a crime, I pardon it.
And Kash Patel is very fair. I'll tell you, I thought Kash may be difficult because he's, a strong conservative voice. And I don't know of anybody that's not singing his praises. The other day I was watching, and Trey Gowdy, who's a moderate person and very smart and very respected.
Yeah, I don't really care, but I do kind of think it was a bad move. It kind of taints his legacy a little bit because he promised he wouldn't do it. He could have just not answered the question when someone asked, if he would pardon his son. He could have been I don't know. I'll have to think about it or whatever.
In the party, he's Kash's biggest fan. He said, this is the most misunderstood man in politics. He's great. I guess they worked together on the Russia hoax or something. And Trey Gowdy became a fan. Trey Gowdy. Everybody respects him. And, just like him, others also. I don't know of one negative vote. I don't think he's going to have any negative votes.
Is it your expectation, though, that Kash Patel will pursue investigations against your political enemies?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to see that happen?
If they were crooked, if they did something wrong, if they have broken the law, probably. They went after me, They went after me and I did nothing wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. You said President Biden, quote, that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. You said that during the campaign.
Where?
You said that on...
Yeah, I should have locked in a house when I first moved out here because the cost of the house would have been so much lower and I'd be able to sell it for $1 million or something because just the way property value has skyrocketed out here.
Truth Social, June 12th, 2023. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Are you going to do that? Are you going to go after Joe Biden?
I'm really looking to make our country successful. I'm not looking to go back into the past. I'm looking to make our country successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful, that would be my greatest. That would be such a great achievement. Bring it back. We have a country now that's overridden with crime. that has millions of people that shouldn't be here, that should be in prisons in other countries, that should be in mental institutions. We have drug lords being dropped into our country and told never go back to their country. I'm looking to make our country great. I'm looking to bring prices down because, you know, I won on two things, the border and more than immigration. You know, they like to say immigration. I break it down more to the border, but I won on the border and I won on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries.
Groceries.
Like almost, you know, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that. We're going to bring those prices way down.
I want to pause here because what you're saying is significant. Because you wrote on Truth Social in 2023 that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. Now you're saying you're not going to do that.
I will say this. No, I'm not doing that unless I find something that I think is reasonable. But that's not going to be my decision. That's going to be Pam Bondi's decision and, to a different extent, Kash Patel. Assuming they're both there, and I think they're both going to get approved. But you know, while you ask me that, what they've done to me with weaponization is a disgrace.
We'll get to some of that,
No,
sir.
wait. You can't do one without the other. In the history of our country, nothing like this has ever happened. And I've won these cases. I've won every one, and the rest are in the process of being won. Deranged Jack Smith is on his way back to The Hague, where he can execute people. This is where he should have stayed. I think he's dangerous even being there. But I'll tell you what they've done to me in terms of weaponization, indictments, impeachments, and everything else. And in the end, it probably helped me because I got the biggest vote.
It did help him. He got a huge boost in the polls when they indicted him. It helped him with his side.
The most votes any Republican's ever gotten in history.
Pam Bondi talks about investigating the investigators. Do you want her to investigate Jack Smith?
I want her to do what she
His
wants
hair
to do.
really is a frizzy mess up there, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see through it. You can see his scalp now. It is what it is, but I digress, Tubes. So we're at 770 right now. We're getting really close. If anyone else wants to help keep the tip train rolling, it's pinned right there at the top of the chat. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for years of support and helping me reach the goal every week. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but it happens. And I'm willing to put in the time. You know, if it takes more time, it takes more time. I'm fine with it. You know, it's cool to hang out and chat with everybody here. I enjoy it. I had a lot of fun last night.
You want to see Jack Smith?
I don't normally do 11-hour streams, but I was having fun last night.
Well, I think he's very corrupt.
Thank you,
I want her to do whatever she has
Are you
to.
going to direct her
No,
to
I'm not.
prosecute
I'm not.
Jack
She's
Smith?
a very smart person. She was a great attorney general in Florida. She's very experienced. I want her to do what she wants to do. I'm not going to instruct her to do it now.
Sir, are you going to fire the current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who you appointed?
Well, I can't say I'm thrilled with him. He invaded my home. I'm suing the country over it. He invaded Mar-a-Lago.
He invaded Mar-a-Lago.
I'm very unhappy with the things he's done. And crime is at an all-time.
There's no, you don't have to apologize for not being able to send in any donos. Never feel like you need to apologize.
Time high. Migrants are pouring into the country that are from prisons and from mental institutions, as we've discussed. I can't say I'm thrilled. I don't want to say, again,
the mental institution caravan has arrived.
I don't want to be Joe Biden and give you an answer and then do the exact opposite.
We're going to talk about
So
that,
I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to say is I certainly cannot be happy with him. You take a look at what's happened. And then when I was shot in the ear, he said, "Oh, maybe it was shrapnel." Where's the shrapnel coming from? Is it coming from heaven? I don't think so. So we need
His ear looks awfully good for having been shot.
Somebody to,
you know, like look at it. It looks perfectly normal.
You know, I have a lot of respect for the FBI. but the FBI's respect has gone way down over the last number of years.
Don't you have to fire him in order to make room for Kash Patel
Yeah,
if he is, in fact, confirmed?
Well, I mean, it would sort of seem pretty obvious that if Kash gets in, he's going to be taking somebody's place, right? And somebody is the man that you're talking about.
Okay. Let's talk about Project 2025. This is the conservative policy blueprint. You disavowed it during the campaign. You called it a product of the radical right. You've said some of their ideas were abysmal.
I said some of it is. Some of it is very good. Some of it's very mainstream, actually. Frankly, the Democrats should have used some of it because they went, with all the transgender that they were doing, or with the men.
With all the transgender they were doing.
Playing in women's sports. Well, if they wouldn't have done that, maybe they would have done better.
Well, so you take me to my question. You're now giving people involved in Project 2025 prominent roles in your administration. Are you changing your mind about Project 2025? Is this now the policy blueprint for the second Trump administration?
Some people, if you take a look at the group, it was hundreds of people were involved. And I was actually, I reprimanded the whole group. I said, you shouldn't have placed this document in front of the voters because I have nothing to do with it and I'm the one that's running. You had no right to do this.
Yeah, you shouldn't have let them know what I was about to do.
Where you put 1,000-page document in front, and many of those things I disagree with. Now, many of those things I happen to agree with. Many of those things Democrats should have agreed to, and I think they would have done much better in the election because they got slaughtered.
Well, I guess people see the list: Russ Vought, Brendan Carr, Peter Navarro.
I'll take crypto if you want to send me some.
John Ratcliffe, Pete Hoekstra, Monica.
I definitely have wallets where I can receive various types of crypto.
Crowley, and they think these are all of the people who were involved in or writing Project 2025. This must be a blueprint.
Oh, I don't want the Hawk-Tua coins. You can keep those.
Blueprint for work requirements, eliminating the Head Start program, criminalizing pornography. Is that what we can expect to see?
Well, I don't know how they voted. I don't know. I never spoke to them actually about it, and I purposely, and I told you, normally it would be just the opposite. I'd review every page. I purposely didn't even want to see it. Because when somebody like you asks me a question about Project 2025, I can honestly say I've never seen it. I have nothing to do with it. I didn't read it.
If you've never seen it, how did you know you agree and disagree with stuff in it?
But I did hear some things in there that I would totally disagree with.
And I said, break.
Yes! Thank you, Jay Spoon. I really appreciate it. Jay Spoon is like a huge MVP when it comes to coming through with this. And Jared is a relief to hear now. Especially, honestly, I'd rather listen to Jared's nonsensical ravings than Trump. Jared has no authority over anybody. Even though he's a piece of shit, he's harmless. He's like, Trump has the ability to do way more damage. So now we're really close. We're what, like $28 away? We're $28 away. I know we can do this. Hell yeah. That's amazing. All right. All right. Our palates have been cleansed by the Jared giggles. So now we'll get back to Trump.
To the people that were really the people behind it.
Thank you, Jay Spoon.
I said, you really had no right doing this to me because they used it as a soundbite, the Democrats. And I don't know, it couldn't have been too effective because they got slaughtered, but they did use it as a soundbite.
But to people who see, oh, he's bringing in all of these people from Project 2025, he must know what it is.
Well,
you say what?
I don't know what it is, no. I don't know what it is.
You still don't know
but
what it is?
I heard
All these
certain
people
things
are
that I
coming in
didn't
from
like.
your-
And by the way, I heard certain things that are phenomenal. Okay?
Like what?
Like law and order. We want law and order. Okay? Little things like, let's put prisoners in jail. Let's not let people come out and raid every drugstore in Manhattan so that we have to put glass up and every store is going out of business.
Let me ask you about something you've referenced a couple of times in this interview. I asked you last time we sat down for an interview if you were going to pardon
he's going to pardon himself, so he won't be a convicted felon anymore.
You said no. But now that President Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter, are you reconsidering? Might you pardon yourself?
They shouldn't be allowed to pardon themselves. That's insane.
I didn't do anything wrong.
That's his response.
I was given the option. And the lawyers told me, a very specific lawyer, I don't have to go into who, but very high up in the administration said, sir, if you pardon yourself, you're going to look guilty. And you did nothing wrong. Oh, I had that option. I could have saved myself a lot of legal fees. But it turned out that I was right. Look at what's gone on. Everything's being dropped. I still have a Fani Willis, a total hoax. That's a total hoax. It's all being dropped. It's all been discredited. It's been dropped. There are those people that say, and this would be the first time in history, that all of those fake indictments, they were going after a political opponent. There are those that say that I actually did better in the election because of it. Now, that would be a first. I think you would agree, because normally that's like you go back to the microphones, you say, I'm leaving right now. I will leave office. I'm going back to my family, and I will fight for my name. Well, I had to fight for my name in public because I didn't leave office. But no, I didn't want to pardon, and I didn't want to pardon myself. I had the option to pardon myself.
And you don't want one now? You're not going to pardon yourself now?
What do I need one for? First of all, I've won almost all of the cases.
What if President
and the ones
Biden...
that I didn't win are on resuscitation.
Resuscitation. Do I hear my puppy? Boopy. I thought I heard my puppy crying at my door. But maybe I just was hearing things.
If President Biden offered you a pardon, would you accept it?
I've never even thought about it. I don't think he'll do it. Look, if he did, he's the one that started this whole thing.
Let me see if she's there. Oh. I'm hearing things. I'm going crazy.
He got the Justice Department to go after me. And the state cases are all being run by the Justice Department, which is illegal. They had their people from the Justice Department work for Alvin Bragg in order to get something going. They worked for Letitia James in the state. He had his people go from the federal government and take lesser jobs in the state in order to get Donald
And you know
Trump.
he denies he had anything to do with it.
No,
and
you
there's
can't
no...
deny it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they were there. Wait a minute. Wait. You know, you have a tendency to sort of like slough over things. You just...
Slough? Is that a word? I've never heard you slough over things.
Made a statement. His person, the top, maybe the third or second or third person, left the federal government, the DOJ, and went to work for Letitia James. And then, after they got that one started, went to work for the DA.
Let me ask you about some of this new reporting. NBC News is reporting that President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci. If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out on the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and, creeps. So the Unselect Committee went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait.
Wait.
They deleted and destroyed all evidence of that they found. You know why? Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had a J6 because other people were guilty. The people that said that I attacked 2 Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are 2 of the toughest men anywhere on the planet. They happen to be slightly younger than me, maybe, just a little bit. Let me just tell you. They testified. They said it was total
Ha ha! Bullshit! Was that on the record?
And all of this stuff came out. People lied so badly. Now, listen, this was a committee, a big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think
I think
should
everybody
go to jail.
anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
on
it carries
strengthening the
weight, though. You've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, unselect committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they
Bat Squatch? I've never heard of Bat Squatch. No, is that a mixture between a Sasquatch and a bat?
They deleted it. Wait. And they destroyed almost everything. There's nothing left. It's unprecedented.
And they deny
If you
doing
do that in a civil case, you go to jail.
You know they deny doing that. And officials say that the order never came in for the National
They put out
Guard.
a statement.
On January 6th, let me ask you this about January 6th. I think
Benny
you're going to want to
Thompson
answer
wrote
this.
in a statement that he has destroyed all evidence.
Let me ask you this about
It's
January
amazing.
6th.
I wish you could be you have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly. I'm telling you.
You're just too biased.
They deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying they deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. They have done something so illegal. They have a committee sworn to, and because it was so bad, the only reason they did it is because the testimony turned out to be in favor of me. Like Secret Service testified and disputed everything. It made them into a bunch of liars. Not Secret Service, it made the people. They got rid of it because it made Nancy Pelosi, the mayor of D.C., so many people look like criminals. And I will tell you, it's illegal for them to delete and to destroy that evidence.
Let me ask you about January 6th in a different capacity, okay? I think you're...
So, like, the Bat Squatch is kind of like the Mothman. Yeah, the whole cryptid thing is kind of fascinating. Like, I know it's fake. Like, I don't believe in any of these cryptid beings out there. But I think the lore is very interesting.
I'm going to want to answer this question. You promised to pardon those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Are you still vowing to follow through with that promise?
We're looking at it right now, most likely, yeah.
Well,
those people have suffered long and hard, and there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look. But, if somebody was radical, crazy, there might be some people.
Mount St. Helens is like closer to Portland than it is to where I live, I believe. Think that's in like southern Washington.
From Antifa there? I don't know, because those people seem to be in good shape. Whatever happened to Scaffold Man? You know who Scaffold Man was? He stood on a scaffold telling everybody to go and nothing happened to him. Whatever happened to Ray Epps? Now, I don't know anything about Ray Epps, but it was sort of strange the way he was talking. Where is he? What happened to him? Because the people that did very little. They arrested an old woman because I don't think she did anything. They don't even know what she did. These people have suffered. Their lives have been destroyed. And yet in Portland, where they burn down half the city, they burn it down all the time. It's like a routine occurrence. They don't do anything. They attacked the courthouse, federal courthouse. They always say federal building. Okay. They destroyed the beautiful limestone exterior of the courthouse in Portland. They killed people.
Oh my God. I've seen that courthouse in person multiple times. It's fine. It was not destroyed. The whole Portland thing is so exaggerated. I went to Portland in like 2020 and it was fine. Like downtown was a mess because that's where all the protests were going on. But if you didn't hang around downtown, you were fine.
People in Portland. Seattle, people got killed in Seattle. Seattle, they took over a big chunk of the city.
No, they didn't. They took over like 3 blocks. What do you mean a big chunk of the city? He makes it sound like a third of the city was like Antifa world or something. Antifa land. Landtifa.
They took it over. They took the city away. Minneapolis, it looked like when they said this is a friendly protest, and yet over the poor slob from CNN, his shoulder, the entire city was burning down. It looked like World War II. Nothing happened. But wait, nothing happened. They took over the police station. They took over the police station in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
They burned
I go to Portland usually like once a year. Maybe twice a year I go to Portland. I was just there several months ago. Love me some Portland.
Down. Nothing happened to anybody.
I just want to...
And yet these people have been in jail, and I hear the jail is a hellhole. They've done reports, and you would say that's true. They've done reports. This is the most disgusting, filthy place. These people are living in hell.
Let me just...
And I think it's very unfair. Most likely I'll do it very quickly.
Very quickly. Okay, but some of them, 169 of them, have pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers.
Because they had no choice.
9?
It was mostly, like, the chop was mostly a park. Like, it's a park in Capitol Hill. It wasn't, it was literally like a park and like a couple blocks around it, and that was it. I didn't want to go there. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go down there because it seems unstable. But Trump makes it sound like it was like most of Seattle.
100 pleaded guilty to other crimes. They're also going to be eligible for a pardon from you?
Listen, it's a very tough system. Do you know almost nobody?
She is a cryptid.
I saw people that didn't.
She's not a dog. She's a cryptid.
Even go into the building and they were convicted. And you had the.
She's a mixture between a dog, a chinchilla, and a rat, and a squirrel. Boopacabra. Yeah, I like that.
Police saying, "Come on in, come on in." I mean, the police are saying, "Come on in, everybody, come on in." They had people. You have a lot of cameras. They don't want to release the tapes. So,
but you're going to consider pardoning even those who've pleaded guilty to crimes, including assaulting police officers.
Well, sometimes they say, "Here's your choice."
I've seen some squirrels that are bigger than my dog, for sure.
You're not ruling it out.
Look, I know the system. The system's a very corrupt system. They say to a guy, "You're going to go to jail for 2 years or for 30 years." And these guys are looking, their whole lives have been destroyed. For 2 years, they've been destroyed. But the system is a very nasty system.
Okay. I'm
going to look at everything. We're going to look at individual cases,
Okay.
But I'm going to be acting very quickly.
I don't want him to pardon Tiger King. Like, it'd be good for the entertainment aspect of it. But he, like, savagely killed his tigers. I know that's not what he's in prison for, but he deserves to be in prison for that. Like, the government was coming to seize them, and he just, like, shot them all while they were laying in their cages. It's like, that's fucked up. Like, whatever the feds were about to do with them would have been better than that. So, because of that, he deserves to be in prison for that.
first 100 days, first day?
First day.
Hell yeah! We got it!
Just wondering, why no Johnny Somali coverage?
Okay, I'll tell you why. I hate him. I don't even like remembering that he exists. He's a disgusting person, and he gives Americans a bad name, like traveling around the world and acting like that. And there's been copycat people that are going to Japan now and like breakdancing on the train cars and shit and annoying. Because like Japanese people, they like to be quiet in public. They don't like, they keep like personal bubbles around themselves. They like peace and quiet, you know? And like these guys are going there now and like getting all in their faces and like breakdancing like you'd see it in New York City. That's not acceptable over there. And I don't know if you saw this, but in Japan they're starting to put up these signs that say it's like a no smoking sign, but instead of a cigarette, it's a black guy with an afro breakdancing in it.
First day.
Yeah, I'm looking first
issue
day.
These pardons.
These people have been there. How long is it? 3 or 4 years?
Okay.
You know, by the way, they've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
Let's talk about your cabinet picks. I know we started off talking about Pete Hegseth, but I just want to return to that very quickly. Have you gotten assurances from senators
Oh my
that
God.
he's going to be...
Some of these are so bad. Oh my God. I'm going to show this to you guys. Let me see if I can put it up in here. We'll get back to the president-elect in a moment here. So this is the one I was telling you about. I mean, to be fair, all the videos I've seen are black guys doing it. But they could have just done like a figure, like a human figure. It didn't have to be like a black guy with an afro doing it. You know? But this isn't the really bad one. This is not the bad one. I like how it's like no circus performance here. Oh, you can't see that. Let me switch to this so you can see it. All right. But look at this one. I just saw this one. Do you notice what type of animal is being all loud and obnoxious on the bus? All right, back to Trump.
Confirmed? Do you
No.
think he can make it?
No, I think you will, yeah. I've had a lot of senators call me up saying he's fantastic.
You don't drink yourself.
No.
You've talked about how devastating drinking can be.
Yeah.
How concerned are you that the person who you picked for this top job at the Defense Department, at least according to those who've worked with him,
This is a very long
has
interview.
struggled with drinking?
But I've spoken to people.
I can hear
that know him
police
very well,
sirens
and they say he
outside
does not have a
of
drinking problem.
wherever they're having this interview.
And, you know, he had a lot of knives out for him. A lot of people don't want to see the military made better.
Let me ask you about former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. You picked her to be the Director of National Intelligence.
Right.
In 2017, she had 2 secret meetings with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Do you have questions or concerns about those meetings?
No. And he's got bigger problems right now.
Well, do you think it makes it hard for her?
His country is collapsing.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it compromises her ability to handle that?
I met with Putin. I met with President Xi of China. I met with Kim Jong-un twice. Does that
when
mean
you
that
were
I can't be president?
Well, when you were president, they weren't
No,
secret
but look,
meetings.
people meet. All these people meet. I mean, I see some of the most dishonest people. I'll tell you, the 51 agents that said that the laptop wasn't from Hunter, it was from Russia. What about them? Tell me about them. Do you think they did something wrong? Do you think they were all so stupid that they thought that the laptop from hell?
So you have confidence in Tulsi
The
Gabbard.
laptop from hell? I've never heard it referred to that as that before. Is that a thing? The laptop from hell? That sounds like something from WWE. You've got the laptop from hell.
I do. I mean, she's a very respected person.
Let me ask you about RFK Jr. He has obviously talked about his skepticism of vaccines. He's expressed opposition to childhood vaccines. Do you want to see childhood vaccines eliminated?
If they're dangerous for the children. Look.
So possibly?
When you look at some of the problems, when you look at what's going on with...
I blocked Trump out. Like, I was tired of Trump, and I was just tired of talking about him. Because it was the same shit every day. Trump has been relevant in the political sphere for like 10 years now. And I'm just tired of it. And now he's back and he's president for 4 more years. And I don't think he's going away after that either. He's going to run the Republican Party until he dies, more than likely.
Disease and sickness in our country. Something's wrong.
Are you talking about autism?
Well, if you take a look at autism, you go back 25 years, autism was almost non-existent. It was,
Yeah, but that has to do with how it was diagnosed.
1 out of 100,000, and now it's close to 1 out of 100.
I already know he picked Linda McMahon. He had Linda McMahon in his last administration too, only her position with his last administration made sense, and this one doesn't. Like Linda McMahon, he made her like the Secretary of Small Business, which is fine. Like, she ran a business. It wasn't small. I guess it was when they first started it, but it was like a multi-billion-dollar business, But education, she has no education. She has no background working in education. It makes no sense.
Well,
I mean, what's happening? If they can find it. Now, I did something the other night that was a little unusual. At Mar-a-Lago, I called the drug companies, the top drug companies, and I called RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz and some of his people. And I said, let's all get together and let's figure out where we're going. Because we're going to do a lot of things. Number one, we're going to reduce prices because the middleman makes more money than the drug companies, in all fairness to the drug companies. There's a middleman that nobody even knows who they are.
It's a middleman.
You look at our drug prices, they're much higher than the prices for the same medicine, for the same stuff. So we met, and we met for a long time, and we talked about pricing, and we talked about vaccines, in terms of what happens. We talked about pesticides. We talked about everything. And I think a lot of good things are going to come from him. And he's not going to upset any system. He's not going to upset this. He's not looking to, to reinvent the wheel totally. But when you look
totally.
The numbers, we really don't have a very healthy country.
Well, sir, going back 25 years, studies show that there is no link between vaccines and autism. And yet it sounds like you are open to the possibility of him looking
I'm
at
open to
getting
anything.
rid of them?
I think somebody has to find out. If you go back 25 years ago, you had very little autism. Now you have it. I mean,
well, they say because they're better at identifying it.
1 in 100,000, and now it's 1 in 100. That's a pretty bad number.
Childhood vaccines.
I mean, something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right? People are looking at a lot of different things.
Childhood vaccines.
I want them to look at everything.
Everything. So childhood vaccines have prevented about 4 million deaths around the world every year.
I think that's great.
Isn't that...
I'm all for it. I think it's great. Hey, look, I'm not against vaccines. The polio vaccine is the greatest thing. If somebody told me get rid of the polio vaccine, they're going to have to work real hard to convince me. I think certain vaccines are incredible.
Certain ones. What about yours? It's funny because his supporters hate the vaccine that he helped create. I mean, like, he didn't create the vaccine itself, but his administration helped to push for a quicker vaccine for people.
But maybe some aren't. And if they aren't, we have to find out. But when you talk about autism, because it was brought up, and you look at the amount we have today versus 20 or 25 years ago, it's pretty scary.
Well, again, scientists say that's because they've gotten better at identifying it, and there's no link in
but
studies.
The drug companies are going to be working with RFK Jr., and he's been an interesting guy to me.
It'll be great to see what happens to overall oral health of the country when they take fluoride out of the water.
I've watched him for 25 years.
I'm not saying they will for sure. I'm just saying if they did.
And he's been an interesting guy.
Let's talk about Elon Musk, another interesting person.
He's very interesting.
Last month, one of your allies said, quote, he's behaving as if he's a co-president. Will you...
Ha! Yeah, Elon could never be president unless they change that rule that a foreign-born person can't be president. But that's funny. He's walking around like he's Trump's co-president.
Favor Elon Musk over other leaders of competitor companies like Jeff Bezos, Mary Barra?
No, Jeff Bezos called me. We're having dinner. As you know, Mark Zuckerberg came in. We had a really nice dinner. He asked to have dinner. I had dinner with him.
I like how he doesn't mention what they talked about, just that they had a nice dinner. It's like, yeah, I know rich people have nice dinners. I know billionaires have good dinners. Thanks for letting me know.
Having dinner with everybody. People like me now, you know?
Yeah, people like you. I think the difference is, like, I don't think more people like you. I think it's just the people that don't like you aren't super fucking crazy, so they're willing to just accept that you won and move on. That's how I am. I didn't lose any sleep over it. I'm hoping it doesn't go as bad as I think it could. But I guess we'll see.
There's something going on that people, I said, would you have come to dinner with me if I lost? I think the answer is no. You know, I said nicely, kiddingly, of course, because I don't want to sound foolish. But I say jokingly, would you have been here at dinner if I lost? And the answer was probably not. Look, I'm getting called by everybody. It's very interesting. It's different than the first.
We'll see what happens, but yes, I'm thinking it will be a shit show, and if it's worse than even my wildest expectations, then fuck, I don't know.
You know, when I won the first time, I wasn't nearly as popular as this. And one thing that's very important in terms of the election, I love that I won the popular vote, and by a lot. If
I won by a lot.
Because they would go with the other one. They say, while he didn't win the popular vote, he won a lot of. You know, I won a lot of.
I won by a lot.
Electoral college, but they would always preface it by saying,
I love how he's like, he's never going to shut up about how he won the popular vote now. He'll never shut up about that. And I think this is the best reason why you should vote, even if you're in a state where you feel like your vote doesn't matter. Like, if you have the time and means to vote, you should do it just so we can show who won the popular vote overall. I know it doesn't pick the president, but it's something you can speak to and be like, look, less people voted for this guy. You know, but I think a lot of people have fallen into that mentality of, oh, well, you know, I live in California and the Democrat's going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter if I vote. Or, you know, I'm a Democrat, but I live in Mississippi and Republican's going to win anyway, so why bother voting? That's another, I mean, like, I think that kind of stuff kind of need to, like, that sort of attitude needs to be changed.
Now they say he won the popular vote and he won the electoral college and he won all 7 swing states. That was a great election.
Very quickly, because we're going to talk about the election coming up, but you've tapped Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, to head up this Department of Government Efficiency.
Correct.
Which proposes cuts to the federal government. I think a lot of people hear that and they get concerned about Medicare and Social Security and
Not
Medicaid.
going to have anything to do.
And
We're talking
defense
about-
spending.
We're talking
you
about
won't touch
theft,
Medicare, Social Security.
Abuse, fraud.
Okay.
No, I said to people, we're not touching Social Security, other than we make it more efficient, but the people are going to get what they're getting.
Okay, so the entitlements
And
off the table.
we're not raising ages or any of that stuff.
Okay,
No,
off the table.
I won't do it.
Okay, let's turn to foreign policy. Should Ukraine prepare for less aid from the United States after you're sworn into
Possibly,
office?
yeah, probably. Sure.
You've said
Will Russia get more aid from the United States?
you can end the war in
We're in
24
for 350 billion, and Europe is in for 100 billion. Why isn't Europe in for the same as us? The one thing that should happen.
He talks about Europe like it's a country. Like, I know there is like a European Union, which doesn't include all of the European countries, but they're all separate countries.
Europe should come in they should equalize. And, you know, Biden, all he had to do, like I did with NATO, I said, you got to pay your bills.
I have to
They
go to the
won't pay their
bathroom
bills.
really quick, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and we will finish the Trump video and see what else we got here. Be right back.
From the streets of Casper, the Dark Lord is here. The sexy got fat boy, sipping on a beer. Streaming after midnight, eating Papa John's. By the misty green light, his time has come. It's King Cobra, he's defeated all the trolls. It's King Cobra, he will harvest all your souls. It's King Cobra, gonna make the sickos pay. It's King Cobra, gonna cast a spell today. Brewing skills mean his seal of approval. Yet another drink combo, worldwide sicko removal. Streaming after midnight, eating Papa John's. By the misty green light, his time has come. It's King Cobra, he's defeated all the trolls. It's King Cobra, he will harvest all your souls. It's King Cobra, gonna make the sickos pay. It's King Cobra, gonna cast a spell today. Bugs in his beard, bugs on his food, bugs on his chair, drinking, getting stewed out. It's King Cobra, he's defeated all the trolls. It's King Cobra, he will harvest all your souls. It's King Cobra, gonna make the sickos pay. It's King Cobra,
All right.
gonna cast a
Back. Let's go back to Trump.
And as you know, the Secretary General said President Trump got $600 billion, now 640 to be exact. And I used to use the 400 billion number. He corrected me. He said, no, you actually got $641 billion put in because I said you have to pay your bills. We were paying for NATO. And you know why I got the money? Because I asked for it. It wasn't that complicated. Europe is in for a fraction. And war with Russia is more important for Europe than it is for us. It's important for everybody, but it's more important for Europe than it is for us.
And you've said
we
you
have
can-
a little thing called an ocean in between us.
You said you
A little thing called an ocean. Have you heard of it?
can end the war in 24
It's
hours. You even said
huge.
you want to try to end it before you're sworn
Well, I'm
into
trying
office.
to.
Before
I'm
the,
trying
you're,
to end it
you're
if I
actively
can.
trying to?
I am.
Have you talked to President Putin?
No, I have not.
You haven't talked to President Putin
No, I have
since
not.
you've been
You
elected?
mean no? Well, I don't want to say that, but I haven't spoken to him recently.
So you've spoken to President Putin since you've
I
been
don't
elected?
want to say that. I don't want to say anything about that because I don't want to do anything that could impede the negotiation.
But you
I want to
have
stop
talked
it.
about
Let me
the
tell you
other
what I
world
have talked
leaders.
about. Let me tell
Okay.
you. there are people being killed in that war at levels that nobody's ever seen before. You have to go back to the Second World War, and even that.
Nobody's ever seen it before. Trump loves that. Nobody's ever seen this before.
The cities have been emptied out and demolished. The country has been demolished. If I won that election, which you know how I feel about it, I won't get into it because we don't need to start that argument. I think it's an easy argument. It was really proven even more conclusively by the win that I had on this one. But
you did go to court, sir.
Well, that's your opinion, but I disagree with it. Had I kept control, number one, Israel wouldn't have happened. Number two, Ukraine would have never happened. It would have never happened.
I like how he said Israel wouldn't have happened. That sounds weird.
Ukraine, Russia. But the number of people that are being killed, soldiers, young, beautiful soldiers, hundreds of thousands of people are being killed. And, you know, it's very interesting. It's level, totally level. The battlefields, totally level. You know what's happening? Yeah. The only thing that stops a bullet, you know what it is a body, a human body.
And I don't think that's the only thing, but
people that are being
oftentimes, yes.
Killed, hundreds of thousands on both sides. Russia's lost probably 500,000. Ukraine's lost higher than they say, probably 400,000. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of bodies laying all over fields. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and it should have never been allowed to happen. Biden should have been able to stop it.
Sir, will the United States stay in NATO while you're in office?
In where?
NATO. Do you commit that the United States will remain a member of NATO while you're in office?
Again, they have to pay their bills. If they pay their bills, absolutely.
But not if they don't pay their bills.
But NATO's taken advantage of us because we were look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're doing if they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
absolutely,
getting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's turn to the Middle East now, sir. There are still American hostages being held in Gaza. Yeah. You said this week that if the hostages aren't released before Inauguration Day, quote, there will be all hell to pay.
Correct.
What exactly did you mean? And do you still think that the hostages are alive?
I'm not a big believer in the fact that there are too many of them living, sadly, because I've seen the way they've been treated. I talk about the young girl that was pulled by her hair violently and thrown into the back of a car like she was a sack of potatoes. And I said, you know, that's hatred. And then I said, how did that young girl do? Beautiful young girl just dragged by her hair. You remember, blood pouring all over her body. You can imagine the parents thrown into the back of a car by some horrible guy. And I said, how is she? She's dead. She died, sir. I don't think you have as many. I mean, I hate to say it. I think you have far fewer hostages than people think.
Really?
That's what I think. It's only my opinion, but okay. I've been right on just about everything.
Are you going to pressure Prime Minister Netanyahu, with whom you have a very good relationship, to end the war in Gaza?
Yeah, sure.
And have you already started that process?
I want him to end it, but you got to have a victory. People forget about October 7th. That was as violent. And you know what's happening? I noticed that a lot of people are saying, oh, it never really happened. That's like the Holocaust. You know, you have Holocaust deniers. Now you have October 7th deniers, and it just happened. No, October 7th happened. And I've seen the pictures. What happened is horrible.
If China invades Taiwan on your watch, are you committed to defending Taiwan?
I never say.
Still won't say?
I never say because I have to negotiate things, right?
Can you just say if you'll defend it? I'm not saying if the U.S. military.
I'd prefer that they don't do it. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We have been communicating with each other.
Since you were elected?
Yes.
And you sent that message?
Since like 3 days ago. Yes, we communicate.
And you sent that message to him, don't invade Taiwan?
We didn't talk about that. Okay. We talked about other things. But I have a very good relationship, and I hope he doesn't do it.
This week, a federal court upheld a law that could result in TikTok being banned. You said you're going to rescue TikTok when you get into office.
Because he was for the TikTok ban when he was president.
Are you going to take steps to protect it?
Yeah, and as you know, I used TikTok very successfully in my campaign. I have a man named TikTok Jack. He was very effective, obviously, because I won youth by 30%. All Republicans lose youth. I don't know why. Maybe it's changing. And last time we were down 30% with youth. This time we're up 35% with youth. And I use TikTok, so I can't really, I can't totally hate it. It was very effective. But I will say this, if you do that, something else is going to come along and take its place. And maybe that's not fair. What they're doing, and really what the judge actually said was that you can't have Chinese companies. In other words, they have the right to ban it if you can prove that Chinese companies own it. That's what the judge actually said.
So are you going to try to protect TikTok just very quick once you're in office?
I'm going to try and make it.
He never directly answers the question.
So that other companies don't become an even bigger monopoly.
Okay.
Because that's what happens.
We're winding down, and I know you have a plane to catch.
I do.
This is your first interview since you won the election.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I hope
congratulations
you
to you.
I hope you do well with it.
Yes, and...
Did he congratulate her for him winning? Is that what he just said?
Sir, I don't have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No.
I knew it. He'll never do that. He'll never do that. That was the quickest response I've ever heard from him. No.
No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president.
The country is deeply divided because you were the president. And you ran on division. You ran on us versus them. Absolutely.
Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided...
I mean, you've been the president and you'll be the president in a little over a month.
I agree. But Biden's the president, I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me, he went after his political opponent violently because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they're going around stealing elections, why
when you
didn't
say
they do it
Democrats
this
have
time?
control now
Of the White House.
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more
The hamster's running on the wheel right now.
power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
Yeah, he probably won by even more. They tried to rig it, you just couldn't tell because it was so big. His win was so big it offset their cheating. See?
So you won't...
It's too big to rig.
To the people who say...
Look at his slouch. Look how slouched over he is. He's a hunchback.
That you're now directing your Justice Department to investigate 2020, and they want...
What a strange-looking man.
to move
I have
on.
very capable.
Is that
I think
a
Pam
good
is going to
use
be
of
great.
precious resources?
By the way,
Is that what you
just so
want them
know,
to do?
Just so you know, I have the right to do that, but I'm not interested in that.
Oh, you're not. You're not going to do that.
I'm not interested. I have
Okay.
the absolute right. I'm the chief law enforcement officer. You do know that. I'm the president. But I'm not interested in that. You know,
I don't think... Isn't the Attorney General the top law enforcement officer? Isn't that actually what it...
what I'm
I don't know.
interested in? Drilling and getting prices down and stopping people
He called himself the top law enforcement officer.
from pouring into our border that come from prisons and mental institutions.
Last two questions here. One of the things that made this campaign unprecedented and extraordinary were the horrific attempts against your life. 2 assassination attempts. Do you feel safe going into the White House
I do.
for the next 4 years? Why?
I have confidence in Secret Service. I know the people. I got to know a lot of them, and I have confidence. It was a bad moment. Something shouldn't have happened. But I have a lot of confidence, and they've really stepped it up. They were restricted from giving the, look, I do a rally, and you were at many of them, and I'd have 50,000 people. Joe would have a rally, and he'd have 30 people. And he had more Secret Service than me. My Secret Service was always asking for more manpower / women power. They were asking for more and more and more, and they couldn't get it. I'm not blaming them, really, because they were always fighting for more people, and they wouldn't get. Now, boy, do we have it.
I know it was hard on your entire family. What can people expect from the First Lady in this second administration? What role will she play? She obviously had her Be Best campaign.
She's very liked, loved, and she's very respected, and she's a very solid person, and she devotes a lot of time to helping children. You know what she does, and she's got her Be Best deal that is incredible what she's done. The one thing I say, whether it's First Lady or my children did such a good job, and they were treated very badly by the press and others. Ivanka was unbelievable what she did, and she all she wanted to do is one thing: get people jobs. She could have been the UN secretary. I said to her, she would have been unbelievable. She's got the whole package for that, including right up there. She's as smart as they. She didn't want. She said, "Daddy, I want to work on getting people jobs." You know, she'd go to Walmart. She'd go to X such a. She produced millions of jobs for people. Not glamorous. Most people didn't know she did it, and she was always being excoriated. And I said to my kids, "Don't come in. Don't come in." It's just
you said to them, "Don't."
I said to them, "Yeah."
But will you miss having them there? Will it feel different? They were your top advisors.
I'll tell you what, I'll miss them, and they're really competent. But I say, just go have fun, do your business, do whatever you want to do, but don't come in, because no matter what they did such a great job. Although I have to say, Lara did a phenomenal job as the head of the Republican National Committee, along with Michael.
What will the First Lady's role be, do you think? Will she continue her Be Best campaign?
She's a very elegant First Lady. She was a very successful woman before that, in the modeling and other things, but in the modeling, very successful. The press, I can't say treated her unfairly. You know why? Because she's very popular. You would think if the press was unfair, like to me, the press was obviously unfair to me. The press, no president has ever gotten treated by the press like I was. And yet I got more votes than any Republican candidate in history. By far, it's not even close. So you say, what's that all about? The press has to straighten itself out, because honestly, it's lost all credibility. When that can happen, based on the press, I should have gotten no votes, none. And yet I got the highest number ever. And the reason is because I'm able to go on a show, even like yours, even though you're very hostile, I'm able to go on a show like yours. No, you are.
Well, hopefully you thought it was a fair interview. We covered a lot of policy ground.
It's fair only in that you allowed me to say what I say. But, you know, the answers, the questions are, you know, pretty nasty.
The questions are nasty.
But look, because I've seen you interview other people like...
Denny's makes tasty bacon cheeseburgers. Yeah, King Cobra. You know, I'm finding these days that the sit down and eat places cost about the same as fast food now, and you get a better quality. So, like, the same meal at McDonald's when compared to, like, Denny's is about the same price. It's weird how that's shifting.
Biden. And
I've never interviewed President Biden.
When I say you, I'm talking metaphorically. I've seen George Stephanopoulos interview Biden, and he's a tough interview.
Yeah, I always get hash browns instead of fries when I order a sandwich.
It's the softest interview. I've seen CNN interview him. They give these soft, you know, what's your favorite ice cream? It's a whole different deal. I don't understand.
So, Cobra, when you eat hash browns, do you put ketchup on them or hot sauce or something else? What do you normally put? Because I like to put hot sauce on my hash browns.
Understand why? You know, you would think the press would like to see strong borders, great education, a powerful military, so we have a country left, and all these different things. And somehow they don't want to see that.
Let me ask you, hopefully you think this interview was fair. We spent a lot of time talking about your policy in your second administration. I want to ask you, sir, one final question. What do you want to say to Americans who didn't support you in this campaign?
I'm going to treat you every bit as well as I have treated the greatest MAGA supporters. There's never been anything like MAGA in the history of this country. These
That's
people are
true.
so dedicated to making America great again. It's very simple. And I'm going to treat them just the same as I treat MAGA. We're going to treat everybody good. We want success for our country. We want safety for our country. You know, our country's under threat, as you know. We have a tremendous threat militarily because of the power of weapons and weaponry. It's a tremendous threat. Nobody talks about it, but it's a tremendous threat. I want to treat everybody the same. I want to treat them well. And at the end of this 4 years, and I have a big head start because I was there for 4 years fairly recently. A lot of bad things were done during the 4 years that I wasn't there, and mostly in what they've done in terms of our reputation overseas. Our reputation is so bad, so shot. I got to bring it back, and I also have to bring back civilization to our country.
We have to
Our
bring back
country is-
civilization. We're no longer a part of civilization.
It's a crime pot, and we have to get rid of.
Hot sauce is the best on hash browns, in my opinion. Whether it be Tabasco or there's all different types of hot sauce, or even sriracha. You know, sometimes I'll make sriracha ketchup. Like I'll squirt some ketchup into a bowl and then I'll squirt some sriracha in it and stir it together. And I like that. I like things to be spicy. So sriracha ketchup is the way to go if you want like spicy ketchup.
Of crime. We have so many
It's
things
really
to do.
good.
We have to do the prices. We have to do all of that. But we have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to bring down crime. People have to be able to walk
Yeah, Frank's Red Hot's really good too.
across the street and buy a loaf of bread without being shot. And that's going to happen. But what I say to them is, I love you, and we're going to all work together. And we're going to bring it together. And you know what's going to bring it together? Success. I saw that just prior to COVID coming in, I had polls that were the highest anyone. McLaughlin and Fabrizio said, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, if they came back from the dead and they ran as president and vice president, couldn't beat you, sir. We were doing so well.
I mean, if people came back from the dead, that would be crazy. I don't know.
Well, and
George Washington would not understand the modern world that we live in. He lived so long ago. So many things about like technology just would not make sense to him at all. So if George Washington came back to life, I don't know how good of a president he'd be in 2024 anyway.
Getting along with the left. Let's call it the left would be nice. Okay, we're just going to call it. But I was getting along with people that you would consider liberal or progressive, as they like to say, at levels that I never thought was possible. And you know what it was? Success. Success was bringing the country together, and that's what I want to do.
We'll leave it there unless you'd like to say anything more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the honor of
Great
this
honor.
first interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Oh, God, Lester Holt. What's up, Lester Holt? It works for him, but he has a very large forehead. His forehead goes all the way up to like the top of his head, and then he's just got like the slicked back hair. It looks okay on him, though. Yeah, they'd give George Washington some dental implants instead of his wooden dentures. Just think about all the technology that didn't exist when George Washington was alive that does now. That's like commonplace today. I mean, and how you can like instantly speak with someone anywhere in the world, like wireless communications and the internet and all of that. That would just blow someone like that's mind away. He'd be addicted to porn. Yeah, I don't know how someone from that time would handle it, you know? It's interesting to think about. Oh, dude, when I used to work at Wendy's, I would make a sandwich that had all the different meat on it. Like I'd use a single patty, or no, it'd usually be a double patty, bacon, spicy chicken patty, and there might have even been a grilled chicken patty on it. We would do it just because we could, and we called it like a carnivore delight or something like that. Carnivore deluxe. And I'd make it like a burger. One of my favorite jobs to do at Wendy's was to be the sandwich maker. You know, like the grill guy would plop the meat down on your bun and you'd like create, like you'd add all the condiments and everything and wrap it up and put it down the line. So I got a little bit of time left in this stream. A little bit of time left in this stream. Wendy's garlic mushroom burger. We used to do, when I worked there, I worked there a long time ago, like over 20 years ago. We used to do like a mushroom cheddar burger with like the cheese sauce, and they had like mushrooms in it. I don't watch Fish Tank, so I have no opinion on that. Fuck sickos. Play Madden? Seriously, you really want me to play Madden? You know, I have all these video games and I never play them because I usually only play video games when I'm streaming. Stalker? I don't know what that is. So no. I don't know what Stalker is. Stalker 2. I don't know what it is. What kind of game is it? Detroit Become Human. I've never heard of it. I don't know. I do have Game Pass, so I can play anything from Game Pass. You guys don't normally want to watch me play games, though. I wanted to buy the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, but I haven't really wanted to spend the money on it. I've wanted to play Dead by Daylight because that's like a fun party game to play, but I don't know how many people have that. If you have Game Pass, obviously it's there. I have NCAA college football, but no one wants to watch me play that. I'll give it a chance on my free time. Free time is a limited commodity these days. Yeah. Fork knife. Stalker and Detective Resner. Stalker gasped. Stalker seen that before. What else do I have that I play? Not much. I still play old, like, MMORPGs. Like, I still play Star Wars The Old Republic. I suck at StarCraft, though. I'm terrible at it. I have Elite Dangerous. I have a bunch of games because I have the Game Pass. Best hamburger in my area. Best hamburger in my area. There's a few. Like, I like Dick's hamburgers for their price to quality ratio. And then, like, a lot of the other burgers I like are, I mean, there's Kid Valley. That's a local place that has good burgers. There's Lil Woody's. That's good. That's a good place that has pretty good burgers. That's local, but I also like non-local places like Shake Shack, and I like Five Guys too, but I try not to have that too much. There's no Culver's here. Shake Shack is my favorite among the, like, national chains. It's overpriced, but it's good. You know? Like, if you're just going by taste and ignoring the price, that's, like, my favorite. And I like Whataburger a lot. I haven't eaten Whataburger in years because there's none anywhere near me. Killer Burger. I've never had that. Yeah, Whataburger is like a South thing. So they have Whataburger like from the East Coast, like the Southeast, all the way across to Arizona is like the furthest west they have it. They don't have any in California. They have some in Nevada, I think. When I lived in New Mexico, I used to eat it all the time, and I got addicted to it. Now, Red Eye, in America, we don't call chicken like a sandwich with chicken on it. We don't call it a chicken burger like you guys do. We normally just call it a chicken sandwich. It like for us, usually a burger has to have beef on it. That's the usual understanding. Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. The best beef burgers. Triple B. Now, Katsu Burger, they make chicken burgers. And they make pork burgers too. They're all deep fried. I should go there again sometime. You guys let me know which one you would choose here out of the burgers on the menu. So the burger patty itself is deep fried, and you can get it in chicken, beef, or pork. So you can let me know which one you'd choose. So there's the Tokyo Classic. That's normally what I get. The Ninja Deluxe. The curry. The honey miso tofu, which I guess it's a tofu burger, which I probably wouldn't choose. The Godzilla Attack. What is it? Ohayu Gozaimasu? Oh, it's got a fried egg on it. It's a burger that has a fried egg on it. Samurai Select. This has bacon and pineapple on it. And tonkatsu sauce. Wabi Wasabi. This is like a spicy one. And then there's the teriyaki chicken. This place isn't too far from me. Maybe I'll go there in like a week or so. Harikari Burger. Harikari. They have a Mount Fuji, which is ridiculous. Because it has one of each. It has a fried chicken patty, a fried pork cutlet, and a fried beef patty. All on one burger. Yeah, it's their like ridiculous. This one's a Tokyo Tower. And it's deep fried. So it's like, this is how they eat burgers in Japan, apparently. I'm not a big fan of the seaweed salad, but I'd try it, you know. I've had it before, but I've had it at like sushi restaurants. Wasabi coleslaw. Koroke. It's a deep fried croquette with potatoes and vegetables. They have like crushed seaweed flakes on it. The nori fries. Bonsai bites. You're going on a road trip to try it? How far is that? I'm not a fan of turkey burgers. Like, they're not disgusting, but I'd rather just have a beef burger. Like, if I was really hungry and someone's like, here's a turkey burger, I'd eat it. Yeah. Bison burgers are amazing. There was a restaurant when I lived in Columbus called Ted's Montana Grill. I think it still exists. It's owned by Ted Turner, and most of the meat there is bison from like the different bison ranches that Ted Turner owns around the country. And I would have bison steak and bison burgers there. It was pretty good. It's been forever. I used to get like a blue cheese bison burger. Amazing stuff. I don't normally like pineapple on pizza because I'm just not a fan of like the sweetness mixed with the pizza. Just a personal preference. A lot of people like it though, so that's their thing. I also don't like how the oven will make the pineapple like scalding hot. Like the juices in the pineapple will get like boiling compared to everything else. Not really a fan of that. I used to like pineapple milkshakes when I was younger. Like a vanilla ice cream milkshake with pineapple in it. Used to be really into that. I don't eat anchovies a lot, but I do like really salty things, so I've enjoyed anchovies. It's funny how people used to... I remember being a kid, people were like, anchovies are gross. I don't mind them. I wouldn't get them every time, but I didn't think they were bad. I know they do a clam pizza in... New Haven. Like the clam pie is like a big thing there. I've never been there, but I've watched documentaries and shit about it. Yeah, anchovies are like, they're salty, but they're like a tad fishy too. It's like a fishy, salty taste. I don't normally get olives on pizza. Not normally. All right, what else we got here? I was going to play something else. Here's a clip of Destiny on Pierce Morgan. This should be interesting. I haven't seen it all. We'll check this out.
I think that the scope, I don't, listen, if he would have said, I love my son, it's my only surviving child from my first marriage, I honestly don't know many Americans who would disagree with him. I would feel sympathy for it, but that's not what he said. And the scope and the length into which he has given this pardon, 11 years for everything. It is a full pardon for anything. It draws the question, what else was he doing? There was $24 million from foreign countries, including adversaries.
By the way, Katsu Burger was one of Scott's favorite places around here. He would like try to go there when he was in the area. He'd come down like once a month to wrestle, and that was like the place he wanted to go to. He was like really into that shit.
Through 20 shell companies. There's probably more. There was the issues of Hunter receiving millions of dollars in free legal services, in representation. There were probably appointments. And where does it end?
Okay, Destiny, here's the problem. Not a problem.
I'm just curious. Because I don't know all the time. Do the people who cover politics, are these like actual news people? Like, what is the background here on this show?
What's your point?
When you've got when you have people talking about like the Democrats have never said.
Just go look at his laptop. He gave you all the info. Hunter's laptop tells you the story. You don't have to be a journalist to read the story.
Where are the charges? Hey, where are the charges, Ben?
I mean,
Ben, where are the charges?
What? Okay.
Been investigating Hunter Biden for 4 years. Where are the charges?
She just made a comment about Hunter Biden's pee-pee.
I thought we were going to get impeachment charges from Jim Jordan. Where are the charges for Hunter Biden?
It's a great question. I can answer that
The
because I
scope
actually read
into
it.
which they looked into Hunter Biden was very narrow.
The DOJ made sure that the statute of limitations on the worst crimes that dealt with the tax issues were outside the statute of limitations. So if you go talk to a lawyer.
Is he saying statute of limitations? Isn't it statute of limitations?
They'll explain what that means to you. But the DOJ
I don't need to talk to the lawyer. I've read the documents. Thank you. I'm not
you asked the question. You asked the question. You said, where are the journalists?
You just made
I'm
things that sounded like FARA violations. You're telling me the FARA violations is him illegally accepting foreign money?
Yeah, Pierce Morgan does not moderate these discussions very well. But I do kind of enjoy the shit show from time to time.
Him taking bribes and having money go
he
the
never
statute of limitations is what, 2
Don't
years?
talk over each other, please.
Oh, that's all they're doing. Just now you realized it?
I'm going to finish it again. He never registered as a foreign agent, and the statute of limitations that ran out on that for what was going on. He never dealt with the tax issues and didn't have to because we know deliberately that they purposely slow played to make sure that the worst crimes were going, and the DOJ did this. The timeline is clear. They would expire, so they couldn't charge him with those crimes. The reality is the reason why the Biden administration is now having to go back and say who else needs a damn pardon is because there was people abusing their power to make sure that the only 2 crimes that they charged Hunter Biden with could not be connected to the big guy. The gun charge didn't connect the big guy to any actual crime. And that's a fact. And the tax charges where they did charge him dealt outside of any of the money coming in from the money laundering. So the Department of Justice ran interference and said, we'll make sure we investigate this. Oh, crap. The statute of limitations ran out. Even if we wanted to charge him, we couldn't charge him with the crimes. And that's why the White House is saying, holy crap, who the hell needs another pardon here? It's that simple.
Okay,
and go read the laptop.
Easy question for you then. Easy question for you then, right? So the reason why Mueller was appointed was because an actual obstruction of justice was Donald Trump firing Comey to try to stop the investigation into his illegal activity.
You have the right
so
to
I'm
fire
curious,
who you
can
want
you
to
tell
fire
me
when you become
what was
the
the
president? You should have
equivalent
fired him day
action?
one.
What was the equivalent action on the White House and their influence on the DOJ? Give me the equivalent action. Where is the intrusion of Biden into the DOJ?
All right, I'll answer the question simply. If you understand presidential powers, you would understand that you serve at the pleasure of the president, and the president had the right to fire James Comey whenever he wanted to, and he should have done it day one, but he went against his advisors when he did that. James Comey, by the way, laughed on TV about sending in FBI agents because the Trump administration was too trusting, too new, and too green to Washington to go after General Flynn to try to get dirt on Donald Trump.
So you have
he
nothing.
laughed
You're
about
lying.
it on stage.
You have nothing. Flynn lied to the FBI.
On stage.
That's
the guy that you want to defend
Donald
right now?
Trump's
Are you kidding
meddling
me?
in the DOJ. There is no equivalent to that on the Biden White House, which is why what you just said was a bunch of nonsense.
Then why
You
are
serve
they
at the
talking about giving
It
pardons
was
out to
nonsense,
so
although
many
the Supreme
people?
Court has now
Hold
made
on,
that
then
criminal
answer me this
activity
question.
illegal.
Hang on.
Answer this question then.
Hang on. Destiny, you say that the Biden
Destiny looks like he's in a bad mood here.
administration has done nothing to meddle with the DOJ. He has literally pardoned his son, who's been convicted
Bingo.
of criminal offenses. That is
Why did you
lied
just say
about
bingo? What do you think a pardon is? How is a pardon meddling in the DOJ?
You don't think it's meddling with justice?
Because the DOJ and the judge even said yesterday that this was the most despicable abuse of power. Go listen to what the judge said, who's not a conservative judge, who wrote a scathing rebuke of the Biden administration's abuse of power after there had been a conviction for his son. Go read what the judge wrote, and you might understand.
I'm sorry.
Wow,
Do you
this
think
is a bad
that when does a
precedent.
pardon happen if not after a conviction? What do you think a pardon is for? Is every single pardon?
That wasn't my point. My point,
Pierce,
Destiny.
please, let me
Yeah.
say this. This is the
Let
part
Pierce
where
talk.
you
You have no
need to
idea-
listen
to
to
be
what
honest,
you're
you have no
saying.
idea what
No,
you're
listen
talking about.
to what you're saying.
No
You
idea
just
what you're
said
talking about.
that you only give a pardon when someone's been convicted. If that was true, they wouldn't have just given a 10-year absolute pardon to Hunter Biden for a bunch of crimes he committed in case he is actually investigated for the damn crime.
The whole whole point of issuing that pardon is to make it so that you guys can't spend the next 4 years playing Hillary's emails with Hunter Biden. That's the whole point. Because that's what you guys do. Like you tried with Hillary, like you tried with Benghazi and failed over and over and over again with all these bullshit investigations. You do like you've done now with Hunter Biden.
Destiny,
like you did with Penn Star and Bill Clinton.
Destiny, hang on. Destiny, to be clear, Destiny,
in the House, you're going to bring in peace charges to Joe Biden and has nothing. But here you are, still speaking
calm down.
The same lies about the Biden crime family.
Destiny,
what
did I lie hang about? On, please. Can I get involved here? Destiny, a question for you, which is Gavin Newsom, who was one of the most vocal supporters of Biden, even when everyone else was chucking him under a bus. Even he has come out and said he cannot support this decision. Do you actually support what Biden has done? Do you support
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow. So actually, in the end, you do support lying, hypocrisy, and shamelessness, and obstructing justice. You support all those things.
No. What the pardon of Hunter Biden is a trillionth of what Donald Trump. It's not even close.
And if Trump had done this, to Donald Trump Jr., you'd have said the complete opposite. Anyway, look, let me segue to
in Donald Trump's administration after the traitors, okay, over here.
Pierce is in Trump's back pocket. Pierce is even though Pierce was kind of like politically left for a while, he's a Trump fan. He knows Trump.
Here that support Donald Trump tried to overthrow the government in 2020. After they tried to overthrow the government and failed, people like Eastman and Giuliani were asking to be put on the pardon list.
All right.
Okay.
Let me
involved in the J6 attack. And guess what? When he does, Piers, you're going to have a 20-minute segment on it, and you're going to move on to see if you can dig up something else about the Bidens or Kamala Harris.
No, I will go
think
after.
It's sad because you guys are all just jealous that he's massively endowed, and so it's his
Sorry,
dad.
hang on.
Anybody else.
Francesca, sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, I mean, the only crime, I guess, in Ben's eyes that Hunter Biden really committed was showing just how well endowed the Biden family is. And I can see from Ben's perspective how that, might feel like, a crime against him and his
If this is your argument defending a man that abused women, as a woman, you should at least understand that there were women that were abused
work is
sexually.
abusing women? I don't think so.
I would say yes.
Were they 17 and trafficked over?
Women, when you're trafficking women and getting them addicted to drugs, that's abusing women. If you want to say that that's good, that's on you.
It's not just
Do you mean Matt Gaetz?
About Hunter Biden being dragged into something. The laptop contained evidence of crimes, and it was suppressed from the media in that 2-week period before that election. And that is a much bigger picture than whether Hunter Biden got pulled into politics.
Right. And I think this is not just an act of love. It wasn't just a father's compassion. It was almost perhaps even an act of self-preservation because we don't know what happened in those 11 years. It's covered everything from 2014 to December 1st, 2024. So this whole thing
I've never seen this person in my life.
Gigantic. And I think in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see more pardons coming out. I think this is really just the tip of the iceberg. My guess would be that he might even pardon people who were involved in Hunter's business. Who knows? I'm guessing
they've been investigating Hunter for 8 years.
All right, let's bring in Francesca. If she's put her buzzer down. Francesca.
8 years. Where are the charges?
There are none.
Statute of limitations, bro.
They started the investigation 8 years ago when they had the laptop. What do you mean statute of limitations?
You go back to when the crimes were committed.
Hunter Biden sat on a call and he said, "I'm here with my father. We expect you to follow through." He basically shook down a Chinese business person.
Oh my
He said it time and time again.
Can I ask you a question?
And even a venerable medical media institution like CBS said that.
By the way, I did start the new goal for the new week. So if you want to, it's there for you, the people. Thank you so much.
10% to the big guy. Big guy can't be anybody but Joe Biden. And I hate saying this.
Oh, I didn't know CBS was part of the DOJ. Is CBS going to bring charges?
We lose all credibility if we do not acknowledge reality.
Oh my God.
All right.
I am
Girl,
a
let me
mother,
just say,
and I'm
Lindy,
Thank
you
you.
lost all
Thank you for
credibility.
being
What
sane.
happened to you, dude? Who
It's funny because the people I think sound crazy are like, yeah, we're the sane ones here.
Who are you? I don't even know. Lindy Lee's out
She's
here. She's
someone that
been like the
actually cares
face of the
about truth.
resistance for so long, and now she's coming on these programs making this rightward
Because
turn.
she's-
It's pretty
she's not selling
disgusting.
her
You've got
soul
millions
to
of
the left
followers.
like you
No,
have.
she's absolutely doing that.
reality.
I don't even know
Hang
her,
on,
girl.
don't
I'm
all
like,
shout, please. Don't all shout.
you don't even.
Oh, man. That's exhausting. Ooh. So, wow. That was quite the stream. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another stream. So you guys should check it out. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I appreciate you all being here. And I'll see you next time. You have a great night. Goodbye.